Why is this?
All right. I think, are live now. I'm doing this new Streamlabs thing. And yes, we are live here on YouTube. Wow, it was a lot easier with Streamlabs. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Welcome to Real News. We're going to be talking about all the crazy shit happening in the world while trying to play Halo for the first time, at least for me. Alex is experienced with Halo, but I'm a noob. But I got our Streamlabs up, so we're going to be using that, which is really fun. But we're going to play some Halo. And Phil has a good way to start off the show with a very interesting little protest that happened in international soccer, or as we call it. You want to tell us what happened?
So this summer the Euros are happening. This year the Euro 2020 is happening because they couldn't do the Euro last year because obviously with the whole COVID thing. So they're doing it this year. And so the BLM take a knee thing has been sweeping the rest of the world, where you have a lot of these other countries right before the match starts, before the initial whistle, you'll have a team take a knee for like the 5 seconds or whatever before the starting whistle. But with the Euro happening, you have a lot of these teams that aren't taking a knee right now.
Nice.
So you have Poland. Poland has done it. Has stood up, has remained standing. Russia has just done it. Denmark, Finland, Hungary, and there's like a couple of other countries that all have also done, and you have a couple of these have explained themselves, saying that they'll only kneel to God, they'll only kneel to for their country, or for their future wifey, right? So you're getting that, and then of course, you'll get the Twitter losers that are like, oh, they're still racist. Even announcers were like, there was one announcer that was like, oh well, you have one team still standing, and it was British, so I have a shitty British accent. Like, they're like, oh, they're still standing because they don't. I guess either they don't understand the interpretation, or perhaps there's still lingering effects of racism still within Eastern Europe. Like they're trying to take a dig at these Eastern European countries, and it's like it's not. And so it was, for me, it was cool to see because well, I'm a soccer fan, or football over there, so it was cool for me to see. And I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people don't take a knee, and this is one of those things where it's like this forced compliance or something, like, oh, you take a knee or else you're a racist or something. Like, no, people, there's reasons why people don't take knees, and that's like, and they're legitimate reasons. It's not, yeah, I mean, it's just, at this point, I think it's just dishonesty. Like, it's just straight up dishonesty. When someone says, "Oh, if you don't kneel, you're a racist," like, no, you're just a dishonest person. At this juncture, especially after a year plus of talking about it and debating it, and finding out all the ins and goings of BLM, and like, it's like people can stand, okay? People don't have to kneel, and not only that, just don't. It's a political statement. Like, it's a political statement, and nobody likes politics in sports. Like, yeah, like um, a couple of those games, they were booing the people that were kneeling. Like the people in the crowd, they were booing the people that were kneeling, and like nobody likes that. Look, even me. Like, look, if I have to pay these ridiculous ticket prices to go see this freaking game, I'm not trying to see no fucking political statement. Okay, I want to see some. I want to see, I want to see the damn game. I want to see people having a good time. Having, dude, like, yeah, leave the political bullshit at outside the events. There's a time and a place to do those things, and this is definitely.
And it was Russia, and what was the other team that wasn't kneeling?
There was a couple of them. There was so it was Poland. I think was the first to do it. Poland, I think, was the very first team to actually do it.
Nice.
But then Russia did it. Russia stood. Hungary stood. And then Denmark and Finland played each other, and both of those teams stood. So, yeah, there was, which was, it was super cool. And then I think the Czech Republic did it. I think Croatia might be doing it. Croatia might be standing too. Which Croatia is cool because they're actually like, Croatia's actually a really good soccer team. So, like they were, I think they were the runners up in the last World Cup. So,
I love the guy that was pointing to the patch. That was awesome.
Yeah, most of them do. See, now most of them do because they have that, because they all of the UEFA teams, like the Europe teams, they have this UEFA patch on their sleeve that says respect, and so when they take a knee, they just point to the patch, which is actually kind of interesting because, I mean, really at this stage, if you're just if you are asking people to take a knee, or if you're demanding that people take a knee, knowing why people aren't taking a knee, I mean, you're just not being respectful. I mean, you're just not being a respectful person. You're being dishonest and you're being disrespectful. So, I mean,
yeah,
I think it's cute. I think it's a cute little gesture. Like they point to the respect patch, and then they stare right at them. Like it's cool. It's cool. Cool. I mean, obviously Russia. I mean, Russia wasn't a good. They played Belgium and Belgium smeared them. But like, but still, it's like, like you could tell the crowds were pissed off that these people were kneeling. Like, and it's like, and there's obvious, like, I don't know. I just hate it. I fucking hate it. I'm done with it. And it beyond the obvious, like just beyond the obvious. Oh, like you could say we could have this argument that like BLM is a Marxist organization and they're corrupt and they have ties to the Chinese government and they have like all this stuff. We could go argue all that, but just in the sole foundational part of it is like, I don't want to see political shit when I paid money to go see a fucking game.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was so stupid too. It's like all this was it with the English team that started? I forget who, but it's just like, it's so stupid that we're doing this now. Like, why? Why does this keep happening? Is it because it's Pride Month?
I think they gotta be fucking Marxists.
I think England is the team that's doing it, and I just saw that the English FA put out a little statement like saying that, oh, we're standing up against the racial discrimination and da, so therefore we're going to be taking a knee. Like, it's like, oh, is this like forced or what the fuck is this? Like, so now you're forcing players to take a knee. So what is it? Like, are these people doing it voluntarily, or are they doing it like, are you forcing them to do it? Like, what? Like, I know, like, I'm a Real Madrid fan. Don't hold it against me, but I'm a Real Madrid fan, and a couple of they have a couple of them. They let the individuals kind of do their thing. Like, there's a couple players that take a knee, and then there's a couple that don't. They just let the individuals be individuals, and for the most part, initially, the Premier League let them do it, but I don't know how they do it now because I really don't watch English Premier League because it's shit. But you know, let's see here.
By the way, Alex, it's funny. I got an achievement. It just said I killed a 343 developer.
Ooh.
Well, they're not the brightest.
Gamers rejoice.
They're not the fucking brightest.
Okay, I just got out of that match.
Hold on, I'm stuck.
I can't join you. Because it said if I quit, I'd like lose my reputation and potentially be banned. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, well, I'm in the match as well.
Yeah.
They do that because I guess they still never fixed that issue. Well, it was a part of the gameplay where he just wouldn't let you do that.
Speaking of Halo, I don't know if you saw this, I posted in gaming, but Halo's now Galo officially because they decide, like, it seems like every Pride Month it gets worse. There's another company, another thing that gets in on it, and it's not just one, it's like a million of them. And they have like this picture of like Master Chief with a freaking gay pride flag, and it's like, oh, we're strongest together when we're on one team. I'm like, this is so stupid. Like,
dude, they don't even know their fucking base. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I'd be playing that. Like, people were calling each other gay, and it wasn't because they were like joking. It was because was not a sign of endearment.
Yeah, it's kind of an insult.
Yeah,
I was looking at Twitter. I was looking at some of the Twitter stuff. I don't know why I still fucking look at that shit, but like, they're like, oh well, those people that are against kneeling, their spouses are looking for an exit door, and or something like that. They were like, oh, their wives or spouses are gonna leave them. I'm like,
yeah, I'm sure.
Fuck.
But I'd hope they want to marry some sort of like, you know,
feminist.
Yes.
I mean, look,
they may have, but you know.
If you look, if your partner is going to leave you because of that shit, let them.
Yeah, I agree.
Let them. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, right? And because I guarantee you, like, look, we've been around a whole bunch, right? There is a whole lot of women that do believe in that do stand for like a lot of the same stuff we do. And
what self-respecting woman would like want her husband to be kneeling like for anything, for anyone else?
Like you just realize, like these women don't realize they just allowed people to disrespect them, right? Because that's a sign of because like when you kneel before a woman to ask for their hand in marriage, to essentially spend the rest of your life with them. But anyway, I know I'm digressing, right? I know I'm digressing, but when you do that,
when you go and pray before God, you know, those are things that are above you. But you know, you go kneel for some black guy, Black Lives Matter. That shows them that you don't value yourself.
Would you kneel before George Floyd?
No. No. Like, and that's what pisses me off too. Is people keep comparing him to like Jesus Christ. I'm like, if you call yourself a Christian, you're comparing any any living person to Jesus Christ. You need to find another religion, bro.
Well, that's what they're doing. This is their religion. It's one big coat because they don't believe in anything.
And again, this is my biggest problem is I'm like, these are just this is just basic shit. Like I did like they're not discussing this thing from the complexity that it needs to be discussed in. Like If people actually gathered all of the necessary information, you'll see that okay, this is a tragic, like the George Floyd thing, that was a tragedy, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not going to glorify George Floyd because, he was a criminal, he was a fuck up. I'm not going to glorify Derek Chauvin because he abused his badge, whatever, right? Like, but I'm not, but I don't see it as anything beyond that. Like, yeah, okay,
Right.
that's, and they're it's more of a used car sales pitch more than an actual legitimate educational discussion. Like, you're not getting into the deep of it. Like, you're talking, they're saying, like, you had Colin Kaepernick like, oh, black people are being gunned down by the police at every turn, and like, look, that is hardly true. We all three of us have enough fingers and toes to count how many unarmed black people have been murdered by the police per year for the last couple of years now. And when you put it into perspective, when you talk about, like, there's 850,000 cops in the country, well, that number's probably dwindled now a little bit because people are running for the doors. But when you're talking about all of them, they have hundreds, if not thousands, of interactions a year, every year. So you're talking about millions, billions of total interactions. Like, you're not, like, that's pretty fucking good. Like, I mean, there's gonna be mistakes that happen, and even then, those mistakes that happen, they're investigated. They're, and so, like, I just like they're not looking at the people that are like, oh, this is police brutality, da 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 da. They're not looking at this from an overall larger perspective.
I think we should start holding the public school teachers to the same, level that we hold up these cops. I can determine how much you're allowed to fuck up.
I think you're better off homeschooling your own kids and taking them to a fucking school again. Like, especially public school. Holy God, those public schools are shit.
Bro, yeah. You're gonna love my badge I'm putting on my Halo nameplate. You're gonna love it.
So do you get one where there's like a Spartan like kneeling over an elite or something?
Oh no, I found. Oh shit, dude, there's some really bad ones.
Do they make one like that?
Okay, I'll do this one first. Okay, you'll see. Just not to interrupt, but just be prepared. The viewers will see it and they'll love it. It's fabulous. 10 out of 10, fabulous.
Dude, that'd be funny shit. Like a fucking Spartan kneeling on a grunt.
He put his knee on it. I didn't know that was the new melee combat.
I don't think they allow that.
Disavow. But yeah, no, what Phil was saying is true, because one of the things too I think that people kind of gloss over with all this is when people say the George Floyd thing was a tragedy, there's many different reasons why it's a tragedy. Nobody's asking why. Is it because of Derek Chauvin? Is it because George Floyd is a victim of the opioid crisis? Like, there's many different takes you can put on, or maybe not opioids, but like using fentanyl, like it's kind of the same thing. But you get my point, which is like,
I'm surprised they didn't rule his death a coronavirus death.
I bet they did.
Oh, I bet they did. I bet the hospital rung it up as a COVID death and then got money because of it. Guaranteed.
That'd be
how cheaper is that?
How long is your game going?
4 more minutes. Hop on.
You're gonna love my nameplate. It's very powerful, very strong, brave and bold. Oh, one thing that's really funny. This is like a small story. That's why I'm mentioning it now. I was just scrolling on Twitter and I saw this story from, I think, The Mirror, and it said that like when Trump was presented with poll numbers that were showing Biden ahead. Like, it was some aide that showed it to him or some staffer, and apparently Trump looked at it, and then he literally said, "How am I losing to a mental retard?"
Yeah,
That's my president.
yeah.
Kidding.
I don't think that Biden's retarded. I think he has late stage dementia. Because screwing over the American people, not any Tom Nook and Harry can do it as
Did you see him?
effectively as Biden has done over the years. I'll go with that.
Did you see him at the fucking G7?
Oh, dude.
That was awful.
Beta. He is
That
literally. He was literally the like. This is actually a great juxtaposition to Trump, and they showed this in some tweets. Biden was literally America last, literally standing behind everyone at the back of the line. Trump comes from behind, pulls that fucker back like the Chad grab, and then goes right to the front, and then like fixes his coat. Oh man, we had so good. Just alpha, like that clip. I was watching video of it on loop. It's got to be one of my top 10 Trump moments as president. It's just so alpha. He just Chad comes through and just goes right to the front. Like, who does that? Just like grabs a world leader by the shoulder and just shoves him back and moves to the front of the line. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, Biden just looked like a vegetable. Like, I just like he wasn't like a soulless something. Like, I don't know if he was even there. Like,
I think it's working now, Alex.
I think I got it.
Dude, do you like my nameplate?
It's a baseless cake.
No, look at the art on the side.
It's the one that looks like the Weeblo symbol from Boy Scouts.
Oh, dude, that's the Black Power fist.
Oh shit! I didn't see it. Look at the
there you go.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying, Phil?
Fuck, this wasn't the one. What the fuck? I thought there were supposed to be like 4 teams of 2, not just 2.
They had him sitting on the end. Like where if you made a picture close enough, you could completely cut him out altogether. Like, we are not respected at all. At least, like, look, and I know on MSNBC they were saying something along the lines of, "Oh, well, it's gonna take us years to be liked by Europe." I'm like, well, first off, Europe was never Europe has never really liked us, but they respected us, and they sure as fuck respected Trump, right? They don't like or respect Biden. There's no respect going on for Biden. I mean, I'm pretty sure they get the deal. They know China basically helped him.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, that was some interesting stuff that I saw. And
well, he just looks so meek. Like he acted like he wasn't even there. You know.
He probably wasn't.
Yeah. He
was there in body, but like the mind fucking left that body years ago.
Yeah, it's so like pathetic what we have now. And again, that's why I think what's an interesting thing that Scott Adams predicted early on is that Trump will look better more and more as the Biden presidency goes on, because you have that contrast of this is how the economy was like under Trump, really good, low gas prices, no inflation, and this is how it is under Biden, high gas prices, high inflation, spending too much money, all these other things. And you're seeing it at the border. Under Trump, immigration was cut down dramatically, like 50, 75, 90% at certain points. And under Biden, it's the biggest surge in ever, literally ever. And I mean, what's next? The G7 is a disaster. It's America last. And I mean, it's just gonna be more things. It's only like, honestly, the only game is to figure out like what is it gonna be next. Does your game have any sound coming out of it, Alex?
No, I turned my sound out though.
Oh, it's really weird. This match has like no sound.
This is
No
on
sound effects.
it's on the original Halo.
It's
Might
weird.
experience some autism sounds. Oh, what the fuck?
Is that
Yeah.
you up there?
French,
Yeah, I got me.
the
That
French president
was
Emmanuel
true.
Macron was saying to Joe Biden, was like, hey, what we need, was talking about Joe Biden. He's like, what we need is cooperation.
Oh god.
Okay, first off, when another country says we need cooperation, what they're saying is they want you to completely submit to them, right?
Yeah.
They want you underneath them, right? It's great to have a U.S. president who is part of the club, and yeah, and of course, Biden looks like he's not even fucking there or whatever.
He's like the kid that just doesn't raise his hand, doesn't do shit, and he's just in the back of
Yeah.
the class trying to take credit for a group project.
Yeah.
It's like let's be real, he's not there. Biden is not. He's
And he's not the one at the wheel either. Like,
Mm-mm.
did you see that even somebody at the G7 called Kamala President Harris? Like,
Well,
can
you know
we
who-
like take a second to realize that this hasn't happened just once? Like, this has happened multiple times. People have said that. Like, oh, nice job, Alex.
Okay.
Shit. This has happened so many times. It's like it's almost as if it's an open secret at this point.
It is a fucking secret. Like everyone knows who's really wearing the pants in this White House.
Yes.
Look at how bad it would like Trump if fucking this stuff happened.
I wonder if it's gonna push Trump to be more like radical things.
Well, Trump isn't in power right now. So.
No, I mean like if he runs in 24. Sorry, I had no context to that comment. Like if he runs in 24, I wonder if he's gonna go like a lot harder. Because right now he's in a weird position, but I think come 24, like a lot's gonna change, and I think things are gonna be really interesting. Yo, where's that guy coming from?
Killed the
Oh, he's up
monkey.
there.
Rocket launcher.
I threw some grenades.
Upper nickel.
Grenade out. My sound was just so low. That's why I wasn't hearing anything. But
I had.
yeah, but what's that going to show?
Well, no, like I think that Trump is going to have to. He's perfect example. Like, hey, this is what happens under Biden. Now, that's only if this sort of sticks, which it might. We're still, very much in this fucking pandemic right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, hopefully it improves, but on the other hand, if it doesn't, then Trump's got some good ammo.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, I think in PA, I think in a few weeks, we're finally fully reopening, where they're like totally lifting mask mandates and all that stupid shit.
I thought they already pretty much did lift it. Like literally very few places even require me to wear a mask.
Well, it's been hit or miss with me. I found some places are still strict, and some, like my hairdresser, like she had no mask mandate, but she's kind of base, so she obviously leans against that stuff. But let me try to Google as quickly as I die. But I thought there was some sort. I thought they lifted before, but I think there's something different. Oh yeah,
Well,
Pennsylvania's mask mandate not over until June 28th. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I think that's, if you don't have the vaccine, you still technically have to wear the mask. But, it's not like they're going to...
You want to tell us about that experience, Mr. Alex, with the vaccine?
I was bribed to get the vaccine, basically.
Bribed? It was your choice.
Yeah, it was my choice, but I decided to get the coronavirus vaccine. And, yeah, no, man, it's just like, the first one wasn't bad at all. Like, I got the Spitzer one. Second one, man, that's...
You mean the
one's-
Pfizer?
Yeah, the second shot, man, I just felt like shit. Like,
that's why you feel like shit. You got the second shot.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, what made
I've
me
heard
feel
that
yeah.
from people that the first,
Yeah,
like
I
some
felt
I've
like
heard that
shit.
the first one was the worst, and I heard from others that the second one was
No.
the worst.
No, the first one wasn't bad. The second one, that was the worst of them.
Oh, did you have a reaction to it though?
Yeah.
What was
I
your
was-
reaction like? I'm curious.
Yeah, well, I mean, my arm was my whole arm was fucking sore, and then I I felt like shit for a couple of days. Yeah, it was pretty. It was like shit, and I mean like shit, not like a flu vaccine or whatever. It was
Right.
like, man, yeah, it was rough. But whatever.
Yeah, man, it's made me like not want to do shit today.
So what about me? Like, yo, what about me? Don't I get some fucking French fries? Okay, like what? So the guys like me who got the vaccine already, like what? You bribed the people that don't get it. What about the people that already have it?
Yeah, I thought we
Not
had
fair.
cheeseburger and fries.
Shit.
Like, look at fucking Ohio. Like, man, they were getting shit.
Oh,
Ever
we're
get-
cool now.
I guess I want to do that again.
Killjoy. Yes. No, in New York, did you see that thing that De Blasio did?
Mm-hmm. That's
That
what I was
so
referring to.
Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what play this thing. God, no, maybe redo this.
Let's see, y'all.
But no, like at least like Ohio, they gave you like a raffle. Like, man, there's like over here, I don't think PA gave you shit. Just give you like at least a fucking like they should at least give you burger and fries.
Yo, get out of your multiplayer real quick.
Oh man,
It messed me up. I got kicked out of it. Can you still get out of it?
shit. How do I?
Abort, abort,
Fuck,
abort.
send me it again. Send me it again.
I can't.
Fuck.
Wait, let me try just starting a random one.
Oh fuck! I'm in the middle of a game now. It's
Okay.
4 minutes now. It shouldn't
I'll
take
just
too.
back out and wait. But yeah, PA didn't have any incentives unless like your company gave you some money for the vaccine.
Yeah, like that's what they should do. Though is like, I don't know. They want people to get this vaccine, but like they should go and like test you, see if you have before. If you already had the virus, you shouldn't have to get the vaccine. You should just get like a fucking like a Purple Heart fucking thing exemption.
Heart.
You see, there was a migration. There was like a migration report.
You're injured in an act of war by a foreign power named China.
No. There's a migration, like state migration, where they were recording states that changed population.
Oh man, Florida
And-
probably got a lot of
Yeah.
new
So
people.
the ones that lost, the people that lost population were California, I think Indiana, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey.
So literally
New
every
Jersey.
Democrat-run state.
A lot
that
of
shut
Democrat
down.
states, yeah. And the ones that gained were Arizona, Texas, Florida, of course, North Carolina, Tennessee, actually North and South Carolina. What is it? Let's see. Nebraska, I think that's Nebraska. Yeah. Is that Nebraska? Yeah. And Idaho. Those were the states.
Do they rank them which have like the most migration? Or something?
No. They just have they have a country chart, and then they just have like color coded changes in the population.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But it is, yeah. I mean, I mean, all of us kind of expected that, though. Like,
Why? I mean, even anecdotally, I know a lot of people that moved to Florida. At my mom's work, at my work, some people that were talking about it, or that knew people. Like, makes sense. I mean, what I want though is, what's the problem with that is, we can't have everybody that's Republican moving to one Republican state or two, because you're going to take out from competitive states, some swing states are now just going to go blue, and your elections are going to be
I mean, look,
screwed
not
not
real.
just by mass migration but internal migration.
oh no, oh sorry, that one state that I said was Nebraska. No, it was Colorado, which actually I mean, that could be interesting because
Had a lot of immigration or
no,
immigration.
yeah, migration, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
like inbound.
Okay.
Which could be interesting because like if I'm assuming that the migration's probably Republican migration, and that's a blue state right now.
Or
You got
what? See, here's the other thing.
two senators, a large chunk of House representatives, are Democrat. Like that could, I mean, really, that
It
could be
could be
enough to.
Republicans, or it could be these like moderate Dems that are sick of the far left stuff and leave, like the sort of Joe Rogan types that they're not really right, but they're not far left. You know what I mean?
Hmm. But it's crazy how down the line, like it's like very down the line, like the people
man,
that are leaving are
This thing's
the
fucking
people.
crashing with my computer. I need to go and fix this shit.
All right.
Oh, somebody's got this 2070 here, and I'm on my 1550 or
Well,
50.
no, like like the task, it won't let me. It's stuck in the fucking window and it won't let me go to task. Like I can see task manager, but I can't do anything.
Oh, did you see that they're apparently going to be rolling out, announcing a Windows 11 soon?
Hold on, I need to go and do some elite hacker hack on this.
Do a pro gamer move.
Yeah, it's time. It's been a while since they've sucked the blood out of the people via operating system.
Well, but what's weird about it, and I wonder how they're going to handle this, is Windows 10. I remember when that came out in, what's it, like 2013, around then, and it was supposed to be the Windows to end all Windows. Like, it was going to be the last one that they just kept updating. And
They want too much money, you know? That's
well,
how they get you.
well, I'd see. That's what I'm wondering is, are they gonna do like Windows 10, where if you were a Windows 7 user or Windows Vista, we could do a free upgrade for like a year, a few months, whatever it was. I wonder if they're gonna do that with Windows 10 people. And I mean, I don't know if they're even gonna call it Windows 11 or whatever, but there were a lot of credible sources that were saying there's a good chance it's going to be a full-fledged new operating system, and I think it's going to be in a few weeks. But I just bought Windows 10, like,
Dude, I bought the Pro Edition, man. I want my shit upgrade.
yeah, it's like, well, why'd you buy the Pro? There's like, what's in it that was actually worth
They
it?
give you some extra options with like RDP and like I could delay updates like indefinitely. I think.
You can do that in the home version.
I don't know, like there's some other benefits to it.
I didn't see any points. Already a ridiculous amount of money for an operating system.
Theoretically, if I want to, I think I could like put over 200 gigabytes of RAM onto the computer.
200 gigabytes. Let's
If I ever
go.
wanted to do that, if I ever wanted to put just, ass loads of RAM to go and run like 50 Chrome tabs at once,
Right.
I could do that. But like there was, like they have something for their remote connect to desktop that they enable with that, like their hypervisor.
Mm-hmm.
Like the RDP stuff's pretty cool, but I mean you could go and do some of that with other programs, but I don't know, man. I think it was like an extra $100, but I was like, I'm gonna keep this computer for a while, but now that they're like upgrading to Windows 11, if I have to go and pay extra for that,
That's gay.
yeah, that's bull. That's baloney.
That's a big baloney, because it's just invite received. Okay.
What happened with you last time I kicked you out of the game, by the way?
Well, it had the invite thing, because this is the annoying thing. I get two different invites. I get it in-game and I get the Xbox one. And I hit the Xbox one and I still saw the in-game one later. I was like, did it kick me out? And I hit accept and then it kicked me out. But I'm in it now. But no, I feel you too, because I just paid for Windows 10. And I'm like, and after what, 10 years? I buy it right at the end when you announce Windows 11. It's like,
This Halo 4. God damn, I need to disable that.
disavow Halo 4.
Halo 4 is like the Call of Duty of Halos.
You mean the Call of Duty Ghosts?
Yeah, it's just like, no, I don't want like Halo and Call of Duty, man. They're just like different games. But this one,
They made it like full on Call of Duty.
it's like the love child.
Interesting.
At least it's a sniper, so I think it's less stupid.
Oh,
what the fuck? It's looking at Borderlands. What the fuck is that? Like Borderlands graphics.
Where are you?
We're here.
I hate you, dude. Alright. Oh, you can sprint. This is Call of Duty.
I don't even know how I'd never even set my controls for this. What the fuck?
Hit shift.
It should be letting me do that.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that Windows is coming out with new OS. I have a feeling they're going to do a free upgrade for at least Windows 10 users. I have a feeling they're going to do that because Microsoft makes money on selling your data now. That's why the Windows 10 thing was free. And it also helps consolidate things, which I'm all for, but the data shit, obviously not. But I mean, I'll probably upgrade, 'cause it's like, fuck, just bought a new computer. Better give it to me for free. If they give it to me for free, I'm definitely upgrading. But I don't know what they're gonna do that's different, honestly. Like, how can you really do anything radically different from Windows 10 unless you go back to, like, Windows 8 shit?
Restore defaults. What the fuck?
I hit him and he doesn't die.
Man, this thing's just getting retarded with this amount of shit with Halo. Like, fucking special abilities. Like, it's not like Halo 5 where they have the ground pound bullshit. You know, it's sort of going to take shit from fucking Super Mario Brothers.
I was gonna say.
You need ground pound.
Hulk smash.
Click that button.
Get that clue.
Use my gamer mouse.
Oh yeah.
It's advantage with the stupid like adjust weight thing. I need to buy
I'm
the
using your gamer mouse you gave me. Very nice of you.
I should have fucking got one like that for myself someday.
Dude, honestly, man,
Oh,
it's,
dude.
it's awesome.
Oh, I'll make the Switch. Stays.
What, you're gonna use? Oh, I thought you were gonna use the Switch. I was like, what? You're gonna use your
No,
Nintendo
I'm
Switch?
fucking Switch. Like that's the worst. I hate that thing. Like for any sort of any sort of crossplay shit, you never want to do that. Ooh, double kill.
Yeah. Actually, one thing we should do right now, because I know Phil, you want to do that. Oh, let me actually talk about two things really quick before we do that, because we're gonna break down Sam Richards from Penn State. I know we wanted to do that, but before, quick story that's getting not enough attention. Actually, there's two that both aren't getting enough attention, but Trump was vindicated once again. Because remember during the BLM riots outside the White House when Black Lives Matter tried to set the church in Lafayette Park on fire? And
Yeah,
Trump went over and like a freaking I got that guy. Like a Chad Christian, he walked over and held up a Bible. It's like gonna be an iconic image of his presidency. And the media framed it at the time as he cleared the mob and used police brutality, used tear gas on peaceful protesters to take a photo. You know, they're like, oh, he tear gassed peaceful protesters for a photo op. And I knew at the time, I was like, number one, I don't know if that's true. Can't trust anything the media says. If it is, well, got those people out there. I mean, they had to get them out. What else are you going to do? But it turns out none of that was true. It was not for the photo op. The order was made long before that was even considered. And it was actually to erect new barriers to protect the White House and other people. So bullshit fake news again on that. And the second thing I want to mention was the Hunter Biden texts. Did you guys see those?
Yeah, he was
dropping the gamer word.
He wasn't like you. As much as I fucking hate the guy, believe me, I fucking do. He did not say it with the hard R.
No, he didn't.
There's more N-words. There's more N-words than a Snoop Dogg interview.
There's more in a Tarantino movie.
And he was not using the hard R, so at least I'm not gonna be as bad as the fucking, you know.
Hey, but if if they're holding us to that standard, hey.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. You know,
Yeah.
if it was, Dick Cheney. I mean, I don't like that guy. Let's say he was using that word. you know, he would be, or like Trump, if what he was using that. That's why Trump used words like "you're my African American" instead of "I."
You're my African American.
That was so cringe as shit too. Like that was funny.
That was really funny.
But that's, you know, that's why he had to do stuff like that.
I know, yeah, because he's like, I remember that rally. He's
Like
like,
a fucking boomer like move.
it's one of those boomer things that's actually really funny because of how he does it. But yeah, it was like, he's like, there's my African, look at that guy. Yeah, there's my African American. He's so funny. I mean, that's one thing will never change. Is he's like the funniest freaking president ever. So funny, God. What a time to be alive.
Like mine's pretty, you know. At least he's kind of funny when he falls up a staircase like that. I mean, it's not fun. It's like bad, like, oh shit, this guy's a fucking president. But it makes me laugh.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's like Weekend at Bernie's, but
Well,
you know.
See, that is honestly a lesson in charisma. Is, you know, a lot of people that are charismatic can be funny, can be, you know, have a good personality, but when they're in an embarrassing situation or they mess up, you know, a lot of people I know kind of lose their cool in a way that, you know, they kind of get taken off guard. But he is so just it comes from confidence, I think. He's so confident, and I mean, he should be. He's fucking Donald Trump and he's president. That when he's in a, you know, a awkward situation, or he, like you said, falls up the staircase, like, he's able to make it, you know, not that bad or funny.
Well, I don't think you can really fall up a staircase. Like,
Hey, Joe Biden did it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are you talking about, Joe Biden?
oh, no, I meant like, I mean, I think when you fall, you can't really make that seem good. Like, oh, I fell up the staircase because that, like, when you have dementia, you know? Like, he was probably
I agree.
afterwards because he probably had a seizure or something.
Yeah.
Or his hip broke because he's fucking 80 some odd years old. Let's be real. Like, would you want your grandfather to be president? Like, just the audience out there.
No.
No.
But see, the thing with Trump too is he's not your typical granddad. Like, he is extremely high energy. Wakes up at like 5 a.m. I think, and would be awake till midnight, 1 a.m. or something. Sometimes later, constantly working. Because he's the type of guy too that even when he's like playing golf or having quote unquote off time, he's still thinking. He's still working. It just doesn't stop with him. That was how he was with his business, and that was really how he was as president more than anything. Do you like my new name badge there? The name badge art on there?
The fuck? Are we temporarily banned from playing matchmaking? The fuck?
What did you do?
No. What's the time right now?
Dude, I have a pride flag on my badge.
Wait,
You
1
can't
minute.
kick us.
I got banned for 1 fucking minute because I think this is stupid.
Why'd you get banned?
For 1 minute of match, like, I don't know what the.
What'd you do? I have a pride flag. We should be accepted.
Yeah,
this is discrimination.
Ayla is not being very accepting of different individuals. Can't help the autism.
Oh my god, dude, they
Yeah,
have an autism one.
Didn't you see the Sociology 119 video? Look, they got a pride flag, so that gives them full opportunity full pass to be racist. That's right, because you got the pride flag, so that covers you.
Wait, but I have to hold you a second there, because they did have a pride flag, but did they have the 2021 pride flag with the don't want to exit the lobby, with the black and brown stripes and the triangular, like, intercepting ones, now with the unisex circle on it.
Right.
That's the unisex circle.
I think it's the unisex. I think that's what it was. I need to check the Pride Twitter, because that is a thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't have all those things, so I don't give them a pass. I mean,
so technically they were being bigoted in more ways than one, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'll post in chat. It's actually the intersex circle. That
Was that the one where they could they remade the swastika by just shifting him around a few places?
It is that flag, yeah, but that was a meme somebody I think started where they took this new pride flag and they started flipping it around and they created the swastika.
Illuminati shit with the last one, circle.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a combination of what was that, the South Africa Zimbabwe flag, mixed.
Yeah.
This looks you go and show a caveman this from 2000. They see this and yeah, this is some right wing conspiracy, Illuminati nut job sort of shit.
It's you literally would see intersectionality. It's literally the other identities intersecting with the pride identity on a fucking flag. It's ridiculous. I can't believe even the gays are putting up with this. They're literally trying to steal their shit with other identities.
Why they keep resetting my fucking every month? They're going to redo. They need to do a good job with this.
But yeah, as Phil was saying, let's get some context to why we're talking about this and giving shit about it. Is because our boy Ellen Schroyer from InfoWars, when I was at my work break, or at work, and on break, I saw one of his clips from his show that had Sam Richards on it with big eyes and a big smile on the thumbnail. I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. I click on it, and it's a clip from when I was in his class over a year ago, I think, at this point, where Sam had this white guy up and this brown guy up, and he was talking about how when they graduate, the white guy has more privilege than the black guy. And the way he said it, let's be real, does sound racist, because he literally said the black person is not equal to the white person.
Well, yeah, how is that not racist?
To give Sam's perspective on it, what he meant, I think, in it was that since the white person is privileged, he is not then the black person's not equal, which unironically is white supremacy.
Yeah, it's a bigotry of low expectations, racism versus regular racism.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, really, it's just that whole thing of. It's that whole thing of I think he's trying to be an advocate for equality of outcome.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, look, even Karl Marx himself said that equality of outcome is a fantasy. It can never be attained. That's funny. Yeah, Karl Marx himself said that.
Equality of outcome is it's the most. It's like code word for communism.
It's yeah. I mean, it's not like that. There's people that argue, oh, there's misconceptions that this is communism or socialism, in okay, so much of what they preach, like in theory, it's not communism, but in practice, it is, right? So that's it's one of those things where, and it's like saying, oh, this country's not communist, it's socialist. But socialist countries become communist in a matter of fucking months. Why? Because the powerful love to get more powerful, right? And there's no checks and balances on those people getting power. So there's of course they're gonna it's gonna become communism. Because that's the only way it becomes. I'm sorry.
What did the USSR stand for? What was that acronym stand for?
Was it United Soviet Socialist Republic?
Yeah, socialism. Yeah. So they were a de facto, and that was in their whatever they had, because I don't think they had a constitution or anything.
I think Republic was in there too, but I
mean. Well, then again, China is called the People's Republic of China. So.
Right. Right.
I think the socialism sort of takes precedence.
Right.
Everything else. But that's what it does. It's a cancer.
Yeah. Well, it's a gateway drug to communism.
Right. It is. It's just it's not a gateway drug. It is communism.
It is. It is.
It's technically speaking, real
it's communism. Different because socialists don't believe in taking private property and the state owning it, but it inevitably leads to that.
That's what I mean by in theory no,
I think
but
technically,
in practice,
true
yeah.
communism,
Yeah.
there's classless, like that's the end goal of the socialist countries, true communism. But I don't think, according to Marxist theory, that ever actually happened yet.
Because in socialist countries, you give the power to the government, which of course the government will always take more power for themselves. Like that's if you and especially when they go unchecked, they're gonna take more power for themselves. It's just that's the nature of power.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me see where was I? We
Shit, I can
regressed.
detach
We
the
were
turret. Let's go.
we fucking regressed big time.
And we did.
We
You want to talk about
so-
his China video?
No, there was something I was trying to get to the last one. No,
Oh, yeah.
because okay, so going back to the
Owen
the black
video.
and white. Okay, so the black and white video, black and white degrees not being the same. Obviously that's bullshit because look, no, but but again, this is simplistic, and this is the problem with like people like sociologists that are trying to trying to explain in simplistic fashion things that are so complex in nature, right? So he was talking about.
You know what? What if I made the opposite argument? What if I said that the black degree was actually worth more than the white degree? Because
Yeah, of course, of course.
Because the company's going to go and say, hey, this is an extra person we can put on the quota over here, and it'll make us look better for when we go into social media. It'll make them better for whatever government mandate, like lending reports say that X amount of employees in this position must, be this race.
I'd make that argument, honestly, because we don't have affirmative action. And we don't get bonus points for a company as a diversity hire.
I mean, the thing is, you look at the degrees, and it's like, well, and some of the statistics, and I was looking them up. So what they do is they round up all the degrees that white people attain and all the degrees that black people obtain, and they calculate those numbers in that regard, but they don't. But that's like a very basic. That's a very basic way of gathering statistics for that said, scenario, when it just completely takes away the context of gaining a degree as a whole. Because look, no two college students are equal, at all, regardless of skin color, right? Not all degrees are equal, right? Obviously you're not going to get paid shit for a fucking sociology degree, whereas an engineering degree, you're probably starting at 6 figures, right?
Yeah.
Not all colleges are equal, right? If I get a bachelor's degree from fucking Reading area community college, it's probably not going to be worth as much as if I get a fucking degree at one of the Ivy League schools, right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing too. Even if you graduate from college, if you don't get a fucking internship, good luck with that.
Yeah,
that's
none
more
of that. None of that. Yeah, and then that doesn't even account. That doesn't even take to account the individual, the location of where they came from, right? Where did these kids come from, right? Mm-hmm. What kind of job opportunities are available to that said person, right? Maybe if they're going to school, or what about the year? What about what's going on economically, right? What if there's a recession and kid 1 isn't able to get a job, whereas there's no recession? Maybe kid 2 gets some opportunities that kid 1 might not have had. What about the individual's desired job opportunities? What if kid 1 is like, no, I'm not going to fucking work. I'm not going to fucking work in DC, and kid 2 says, hell yeah, I'll work at DC, whatever it takes to, get a job or get my feet on the ground or off the ground or whatever, right? There's so many things. There's what I know, I've spoken a lot, but I'm saying there's so many things that go into two people's decision-making processes long before the color of one's skin even begins to be a part of that equation, right? So,
Well, and it's honestly, and I'm saying this for a lot of people that think this way, or anybody that thinks this way, frankly, anybody that thinks that things happen because of one factor are looking at things through a very childish view. Because when you're a kid, you think very black and white, X cause Y.
there's two things. So there's two things to that. Either one, they're not looking at this through either they don't know the broader scope of what they're talking about, or two, they're actively manipulating you.
Right.
Like they do know, and then they're just bullshitting you. Those are your options.
Holy shit, half our team left.
No wonder why we're losing.
Oh my god, fuck.
But you're right, though, because we live in a world where it's a multi-factor world. Things happen for multiple different reasons. It's not just skin color. And that's not to say it isn't a factor. It's not everything, but it's not nothing, but it certainly isn't everything, which is what the left likes to point to.
But it takes, but and more important, and it's fucked up because there may be actual racist shit, right? There may actually be there may actually be an owner that may not hire black people or something like that, or trying to fucking not, or there may be a black owner that refuses to hire white people or whatever. Honestly. It's like when you conflate this bullshit, it takes away from the real shit that goes on.
Right. Well,
so
they have this systemic racism, and I think that's where you start to see it fall apart. This is like racism exists, but systemic racism, the way the left does,
it's a lie. Yeah, systemic racism is a lie at best.
Yeah.
At best, it's the system. Like there's the system is just it just is. The system is not racist. It's just universal, right? It's like capitalism. It's not racist. The capitalism is not racist. Capitalism is capitalism, right? There may be racists in that system at that time, but it's not systemic racism. It's not an institution built on racism. It's just an institution that had racists in at that particular time. That's the worst case scenario, right?
My favorite leap is when they say it was a system invented by straight white men, therefore it is systematically racist.
Well, that's a racist statement.
I know.
But yeah, no, I mean, and that's a lie too. Like, look, there was Europeans that were in there. Mostly, I mean, you get a lot of people. We came through. There was a lot of shit that happened between, the Christopher Columbus boats and the actual Constitution itself, right? There's not. I mean, to me, I'm always one of those people that I tell people if you want to be very basic, okay, here's my basic argument. Have you ever taken a 23andMe test?
Yeah.
You notice how you're never 100% anything, right?
Yeah, we're all mutts. We're all mixed.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah. It's like, oh, well, even even a lot of them. There's a lot of black people that aren't fully black, and that's fine too. We're people, right? And then this is what I'm saying when you're talking about things from a race perspective, you're taking away from the individual, right? It's like no, if somebody kills somebody, it's like occasionally you'll get something like, oh, well, there's a system that was perpetrated by racist lawmaking that made it difficult for the minority, and therefore he felt the need to vent his frustration or whatever. Like, bullshit. No, you fucking killed somebody. All right. No, you go to jail. Right. There's no fucking. There's no. You know. There's no. I don't care about the explanation. Like, you took a life from somebody outside of. Oh, I was in fear for my life, or I was. Preventing a crime, or something along those lines, or legitimate insanity. Like, I don't like that. There's nothing to really explain. Like, yo, you took a life from somebody, so you need to pay the consequences, right? Like, that's the ultimate problem with these race things, like these race type conversations. It's like you're taking away from the individual. Like, you're taking away the accomplishments or the positives and the negatives of an individual. And
God, that's
Guys,
like,
okay.
do you see that Sooner Born has like fucking coffee?
What is that number there?
Mandarin Dead, like Mandarin Dread.
Well,
Base.
what's that stuff that's next to their names? Like, what is that column supposed to be?
Which one? It's their like emblem.
The one where it said gay.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I see it. Sooner Born Gay.
well, let me give a small sidebar shout out. It's going to be a -1, and I think people aren't going to like me, but I don't care. So a couple days ago, CJ Pearson, he went on Mark Lamont Hill's show, podcast, whatever, show, whatever.
And to be clear, we do like him. We're fans of him.
I do like the kid.
Yeah.
However, yeah, he better get prepared to hear some negative shit here.
That's criticism is constructive and good.
Exact. Well, yeah. Whether he calls it whether he calls it constructive or not, that's up to him. But he went on. He went on the show, and Mark Lamont Hill, who, I mean, he is kind of a, he's kind of a manipulative fuck in his own right. But
I don't even know who the fuck he is. He sounds like
he's some social justice warrior who was like a professor at Temple, which doesn't fucking matter.
Very well.
So anyway, I think he was some social or African American studies, one of those useless degrees. Anyway, digress. So he was asking CJ Pearson a couple things about critical race theory, right? One of the first questions, because so the clip that I had seen on Twitter was, let's see here, hold on. That the first clip, the first one was about Martin Luther King, and he was trying to tell him, well, you're saying we're trying to, but we should live by Martin Luther King's principles, even though he went and said, whites are mostly racist, either consciously or subconsciously, right? So, and of course, I mean, that was a manipulative question in its own right, but
hey, what are you doing?
CJ Pearson completely botched that shit. I mean, he completely botched it.
Did he not take the gimme, the layup?
He was like, he said some, he really, he tried to divert the question, which was the wrong thing to do with someone like Mark Lamont Hill, who knows critical race theory. He knows that subject. He knows about that subject, and he knows about that subject fairly well. And so with CJ Pearson, if he was going to talk about Martin Luther King and he was going to talk about critical race theory, it would be best if he knew fully about Martin Luther King and about critical race theory, right? If you're going to speak on those subjects, you better know those fucking subjects. That's the whole thing of debate. Like, if you're going to try to debate somebody, you better know your shit, or else you're going to look stupid. Okay? And yes, C.J. Pearson at that time looked stupid.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I would have been like me. I would have been like, look, I would have said something. Look, that statement was misleading. A quote taken in the context of 1967. Okay, isn't connected to any examples of Dr. Martin Luther King, right?
Right.
Because Martin Luther King was like all about nonviolent protesting and treating people equally and all of that. So when he says something in 1967 that's just like his opinion on something. Like, you have to separate something that somebody says from some teachings that somebody shares, unless it contradicts or something like that. But that really didn't do it at that time. He said that whites were mostly racist in 1967, in a period where he saw whites as mostly racist.
Yeah.
Like, he saw a whole bunch of fucked up shit. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. But yeah. But of course, C.J. Pearson didn't answer that. He tried to deflect it, right? Which, again, if you trying to debate somebody, or you're trying to make yourself look good on a particular subject, and then if you bring up Martin Luther King, you better fucking know Martin Luther King, right?
Well, and what
you
I
better
would have
know
done,
the guy.
and I've done this before, is when you don't know something, be honest about it. Be like, okay, show me that quote. Like, can you bring it up in the full context?
If you do that, you better not bring that shit up again until you know it, right? Because this isn't the first time he's brought up Martin Luther King. This is the first time he's brought up critical race theory, right? This is like one of those things where it's like he kind of just did it as like he kind of just went on autopilot, which is the stupidest thing to fucking do, which in part I understand, because he probably gives a lot of interviews and he probably gives a lot of shit, but like, he gives a lot of speeches, gives a lot of interviews, gives a lot, like, you're whatever. But the problem with that is all it takes is one time to make you look stupid, and then your whole fucking thing is discredited, right? So know your shit, okay? So anyway, that first question happened. I know I spoke about that first question a ton, didn't I?
No, that's good.
Anyway,
you broke it down well, because I didn't know about that quote, so I'm glad that you told us about it, honestly.
Right. So yeah, and then two, right? The second question, he was like, "Oh, so you mentioned that whites, the critical race theory is anti-white and all that stuff." He's like, "Name one critical race theory that said that. Critical race theorist that said that." And again, he deflected, right? Which of course that was a mistake. Yeah, which of course that question was again misleading. Because no fucking critical race theorist is gonna fucking say that directly.
Right.
They're not gonna say, "Oh, this is anti-white." Like, no, you're not gonna say that shit. But you don't have to. Like, you can, like. But anyway. But again, C.J. Pearson again deflected, kind of went off. He's like, "Look, yeah, he dodged it, right?" And he pointed, and Mark Lamont Hill, he pointed that out, right? He pointed out, "Oh, you're not answering the question. I'm not going to badger you, even though you didn't answer the question," right? So his response, it was a well-timed response, even though he is manipulative garbage. But anyway.
But you can tell he's been in debates and uses good debate tactics. So that's a tactic I use all the time. When somebody says, Donald Trump lies, I'm like, well, name a lie. Because half the time they don't know a lie. That's the point of the tactic, is that you know that they're just throwing out these big claims that they can't back up.
Yeah. So and like, if he asked me that, I would have been like, well, if white privilege, whiteness, etc. are being pushed by these critical race theorists, then the answer is all of them, right? All of them, right? If you're pushing white privilege, whiteness, all white guilt, whatever, then they're all anti-white.
Yeah. Yeah.
The correct answer is all of them. Right. You just turn it around and go, well, they all are, right? Because it's like, the main issue, and then you talk about the main issue being that with critical race theory is that each individual, much like I talked about before, each individual interaction has a lot of as a long list of variables before race can even begin to be a factor, right? And like one of those things was like, one of the examples that they used to like to give is the black person being followed in the store because they're anticipating shoplifting or something like that. And the problem, yeah,
no, I've heard that one before. Now here's the thing too. Like, if I was gonna be debating one of these people and they're claiming that like it's not anti-white,
but again, you brought
the same stuff. Like, is this right? Like using their own theory against them?
But here's the thing. There's a broad context to even that situation, right? So if you're adding this hypothetical situation, you're adding a broad scope to that hypothetical situation, right? So that there's personal, there's appearance that you can't control, right? Like skin color, whatever, hair color, whatever. And then there's appearance that you can control, like personal appearance, right? Hygiene, haircuts, right? Facial hair, what kind of clothes you wear, how you wear your clothes, how you present yourself, how you walk, how you talk, how you look. There's all this stuff that goes into someone's personal appearance that determines whether somebody thinks that you might be a threat or not, right? You're a threat, look, because white people do that. If there's a white person with fucking chains on his face, with fucking tattoos on his arm, who's got he's gonna scare the shit out of people too. These people are probably the store owners are probably gonna give him a look. There's gonna be people that cross the street to fucking avoid that person, right? It's just different. There's different shit. There's stuff that you can do to make yourself less threatening, right? There's that, and that is one of those things that makes you, that those are one of those things that are determinate and not really skin color. The skin, I mean,
well, like the example I always draw is like if some homeless person walked in your store, you'd be sus as fuck. If somebody came with a business suit, you would also think totally differently. You'd be fine.
Also, when somebody dresses and they say, "Oh, you're not dressing black enough," that's racist, right?
That's their side doing it to each other, and it's not even just with the dress. I've seen them do with this is their lifestyle. Like, oh hey, you've gone too big for your britches, shit like that.
Yeah. Because I remember ESPN reporter got fucking fired for saying some shit about Robert Griffin III for not for having a white wife or something like that, right? Oh, really? So he's like, oh, he's not black enough or something like that. Like he's not which is like fucking stupid too. Like, no, who gives a fuck? Like, you know how hard it is just to find love, period. Now all of a sudden I gotta find somebody with a fucking certain skin tone. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Like
it's in the 50s, a lot of people of different races.
Yeah, he got into, the reporter got in trouble with that too, but whatever.
I've seen a lot of black guys try get a white wife or girlfriend or whatever. I mean, it's one on the larger side.
It's 2021. Who gives a shit? If you find whatever you're looking for, fucking great. And who gives a shit?
It's a weird thing to be like. I understand preference. Everybody's got preferences for not just skin but hair.
Yeah, no. Things, I mean, certain people are attracted to certain shit. That doesn't mean that they're fucking racist. It just means they're fucking attracted to certain shit,
but
right?
When people get onto people about that, it's really weird, especially in today's time. And I'm not saying that it's because we're a progressive time, but it's like it's beyond accepted now when people don't accept
I hate
it's kind
there
of
was
like,
one.
Where's that coming from?
There was one article that really grinded my gears. It was like the term yellow fever is so fucked up because it's it's taking advantage of oppressing Asian women or something like that. Like, no, people fucking like, yo, somebody likes Asian women. Hey, some Asian women are really fucking hot.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
And it's not meant in a negative way. It's a
yeah,
joke. Like
it is.
I mean,
like,
just think in comedy how I'd say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you could make racial jokes and it was really accepted. And now it's like it's so hairy, it's so dicey that every time you hear race thrown into a joke, it's like everybody tenses up.
But this is
The only race is acceptable to joke about is white people. You know,
but I mean, I was like, but I mean, I was like, but like I was saying before, when you throw that race into it, you're taking away from the individual. Well, what about that individual, right? Like okay, so I grew up poor. Okay, most of my friends were not white. Okay, like I grew up in a fucked up neighborhood where, you know,
but
most of my friends were white.
Phil,
right?
Bernie said, when you're white, you don't know what it's like to be poor.
Right. So,
so you weren't really poor. You didn't really know what it's like.
Yeah. Try telling my mom that. Try telling my mom that.
Oh.
Yeah. No. And I mean, like most of what I used to laugh at, like, you know, a lot of these stand-up specials where they were talking about how bad they had it because I fucking had it bad. I had it bad. Like, fuck, you know. And I'm not, I'm not saying that because I'm proud of it, but I'm saying it because it fucking happened.
Yeah, you lived through it.
But it's like one of those things where you're taking away a person. Like when you're saying that stuff, when you're accusing somebody of being a racist or being oppressive or whatever, like you're taking away a person's individualism. Like, you know, where this person came from, what happened to him, like what were the circumstances in one's life. Like maybe he grew up in a Asian household. Maybe he was a foster child that grew up in an Asian household. And then so he fell in love with Asian. He had a favoritism for Asian people just because he has, you know, a tie to Asian culture. Okay,
see, that's actually an interesting thing that should be studied if it hasn't already. Is like, why are certain people attracted to certain races? Like there's a
lot of those people. You get a lot of people who are attracted to Asian women because they're beta males. I see that a lot.
I like Asian women.
Okay.
And I'm not a fucking beta.
I've seen that a lot. Like when I was at Penn State College, IST, a little bit of the tism, and like they watch the anime, and it's like it's a real life wife.
No, I agree with you, Phil. I kind of have to, given my circumstances, but I do agree with Alex to an extent because there are some. I guess you could say amongst white people there's a fetishization of other cultures and races. Especially with people with weaves, like they fetishize the Asian culture.
But what about the individual? Like why personally does somebody do that? Like,
that's
why
a good
personally?
Point. That's what I want to know.
They see the anime girls, they're Asian, you know, pretty much every anime is an Asian woman in there.
But even then, it's not. It doesn't.
It's because anime is cancer. That's
based.
Yeah.
Anime is the down. It was the
anime
cause.
is weird. There's just like some weird shit, and I'm like,
it is weird. Like it's one of those mediums. It's really hit or miss. Like there is no middle ground.
I had a friend that was into, what the fuck do they call it? They call it yes, that is what they call it.
What's the one
like with the fucking the alien shit with the tentacles and it's just like crazy. I'm like you need assistance. Like you need like mental health resources like fucking now. Like he's like, what? It's fucking awesome, man. I'm like, what is awesome? Like that's terrifying. Like, yo, you're into that crazy shit. Like you're into aliens raping a fucking girl on a screen. Like
what a rape porn.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Like I just like it's just weird. It's just fucking weird. And then people are into I don't know, just weird. Uh, um,
But I don't know, man. I can tell you, I've seen like a lot of people. A lot of not everyone who dates an Asian woman is beta male, but I've seen a lot when I
but
was.
not everybody that dates. Yeah, but not everybody that dates a black, white, Hispanic, or beta or whatever. Like that.
There's
Like
certain,
I could find.
you can find certain trends, like especially like the black guys. I've seen a bunch of them
You
date
could go into. You could go
white
into
women
like.
who are a little bit on the plus side. Plus size.
You could go, yeah. You could, but some people could say, "Oh, because you have a Latino girlfriend, you're a fucking beta male because Latino women are very bossy and they're hossy."
Oh,
Like,
you
yeah,
need to be like alpha as fuck to deal with that. You deal with a Latina girlfriend like that'd be tough.
no, because you could go into.
I mean,
you
that's a stereotype. It's like anything
yeah,
else.
it is. Like, yeah, you could make up. You really could make up a stereotype for everything. Like everything you can make up.
Exist there?
There's a grain of truth to it.
Because there's some liberals that fucking make them. I don't know.
No, there's usually a grain of truth for every stereotype. Now, is it all? Is it
But I mean, there's a grain of truth. Like, look, look, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Like, you could.
Well, I'll give an example for a common one, in which my mic level's right, because I turned down back in my room, because somebody does that at midnight. One common stereotype that's uncomfortable for a lot of people is the black people eat fried chicken stereotype.
Okay, that's. I mean, it's a stereotype, and it's can be offensive, but I've been to.
Where does it come from? The history is because of in the South they ate a lot of that, and where there's a lot of slaves that became, that were the black population at the time. Or down south. I mean, I remember a liberal, not far left, but like clearly left wing English teacher told us that, and I fact checked and it's true.
I mean, it's like people, like men in the South, like white people in the South, will still eat fried chicken. Like, dude, who doesn't like?
Yeah, it's more of a Southern stereotype, honestly, but it gets associated with them because they started in black people started in the South in this country for the most part.
Yeah, but where does I got that? I'm curious where some of these stereotypes come from because
I am too.
Well,
look at Ireland. Look at the Irish. That's a good example.
I'm sure there's probably
insane
they're poor.
Culture.
They're poor as shit. They're Catholic, and if some of it, they came from that.
It's like
some of it's deserved, some of it's not. But to base every thing on the Irish people that you see based off of stereotypes. Now that's a problem with stereotype. You can't do that for everybody.
You always treat someone as an individual. It's very simple. It's the mature adult thing to do. It's honestly it's a smart thing to do, and that's what people do.
Stereotypes can be funny, okay?
Oh, yeah,
they can be funny sometimes, right?
It's so funny. That's why we do it.
Look, Carlos Mencia made a fucking career out of it. Of course, he made a career out of stealing people's jokes too, but that's digression, right? Look. Yeah, no, he was bad. Anyway, just ask Joe Rogan. Anyway,
the fucking potato head Schumer.
Yeah,
potato head Schumer.
Her too. But that was like, I don't know. Like, who gives a shit? Just live your life, okay?
Yeah,
just live your fucking life.
Well, and then honestly, like, I mean, I've never been judged for who I date, ever. Like, I haven't seen anybody judge other people.
Oh, people judge you though.
Oh, it does.
Oh my God, fucking that fucking woman picked Shaggy as her fucking man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let me correct it. She doesn't get judged. I get judged.
Yeah.
And then some do, like, there are certain, like Asian cultures especially. You do some race mixing, it's very, no. Don't do that, especially with, as it gets darker, they give you bigger nose.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Like, especially, like, I've seen, like, Indians and then, black people.
Yeah, there's cultures that want to remain homogenous.
What were you saying, Alex?
They don't want the Afro Samurai to become a thing. They're afraid of it.
They watched it. They're like, no, we ain't having that. But even with my girlfriend's family, they're not racially strict. They're religiously strict. Where they're like, we don't care what he is. He's just got to be a Muslim. Obviously, I'm not. But you could be anything. It's like if he's a Muslim, he's good. You know, it's just because they're from different cultures, and that's how their cultures are. But all cultures are equal according to the left. So
I keep thinking of the Goodfellas, where it's like where the main character was Jewish or something like that, or he was Irish. He was Irish, and he married into he was marrying into a Jewish family or whatever. So they had to hide. They had to. Yeah, it was yeah. So that anyway. I'm sorry.
We'll talk about culture. Actually, I'm glad I mentioned that, or religion / culture that is very strict. Where if your mom is non-Jew, but your father's Jewish, the kids are not Jewish technically. Like, you know, talk about some weird shit with that when you start mixing.
Oh, jeez, you know, always goes back. Goes back
to the past.
To God's favorite people. Next to the Mormons.
Oh no! Oh, you want to talk about? I wonder how they think it. They probably don't like race mixing because they're all blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
Yeah. Well, I think after 1976 they were okay with that.
Really? What happened then?
That was when they started to allow black people to become like Mormons.
Oh really?
Yeah, they were.
You couldn't be a Mormon if you were black.
Well, okay, I think like you were severely limited into what you could do. Like it was. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's a pretty racist religion.
What religion though is not? Christianity.
Yeah, they love to do like half the countries and after like Christian, the other half are Muslim, and that's why there's conflict. Maybe not.
Christianity was ahead of its time, and that's one thing I do love about it. And I'm not Christian, but I do love the idea of you treat everyone fairly. You treat everybody as God's child or whatever they say.
Well, no, the thing with Christianity is that they want to get as many Christians as possible. It's like an MLM.
It's a big tent religion.
I mean, the Mormon thing's a little crazy with the whole Joseph Smith thing.
Oh god, it's so weird.
Like, you know, if Cutco became a religion.
Yeah, that's exactly what
Cutco's already a cult, so you know, why not make it a full-blown religion?
It's like British Scientology, really. Think about it. Like it's like they were some pretty weird people because I think Utah, when it was not a state, it was a slave-owning state. So you need to justify that somehow.
I think one of the very first.
And they called it I think it was called the Mark of Cain in Mormonism. Like that's why they think black people were black.
One of the very first few.
Because of the Mark of Cain.
What's the Mark of Cain?
I think it was like in one of those like books that Apocrypha, I think's the name for it.
What, like they think like God just was like smiting black people and like burned their skin or something? Like that's what it sounds like.
That's pretty much what it was. Like you're not that far off from what they believe. Like I've heard some Chinese people say some similar things to that, but like when I first heard about that from Mormons, like that's
a new one. Oh my god, hot takes coming from the Mormons. This is weird. This is honestly, as somebody who's agnostic, this is why I get turned off from religion. It's like all these weird things.
Well, Mormons are not Christian. Like they just straight up are basically the scam version.
I agree, and that's why I do like as Christian. If there was one I had to choose, it'd easily be Christianity. I'm not just saying that because
there's so many different versions. You know,
I know it's confusing. It's like which one do I pick? And they all hate each other.
Southern version, you can be a Southern Baptist. You know, you'd be the true version, you'd be Catholic. You know, you'd be the Eastern ones. You know.
Can I join a black church?
They do have those. I'm not sure actually, because I honestly don't know. Because I do know they have.
I've wondered that. I've always wondered if, as a white person, can you join these like black churches? Which I love those. Honestly, I think they're actually. I mean.
I don't like racially segregated churches.
No, well, let me caveat that. I don't like racially segregated either, but their churches are pretty awesome with the music. Like I always think of the Blues Brothers scene. That's like, you know, and I'm not saying they should stay like this, racially segregated. I think ultimately that's bad, but I do think like they're not like the Mormons or these other ones where they go wacky. They are good. It's just they're segregated.
Well, you don't know because you see a lot. Like I think what was it the one that Obama went to? There was like a terrorist like that grew up in there. I think.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
they're a breeding ground for potentially like racist shit going on under the guise of God, because
That's true.
like you start getting into that stuff, like the, maybe not like the Hebrew Israelites or whatever, like the Black Israelites.
People are woke.
Like it is a pipeline with some of these churches.
So we need to desegregate churches.
I mean, Catholic Church, they've always been accepting.
But the Catholics, they gotta get off that anti-contraceptive stuff. That's weird in modern times. Like,
well,
why do Catholics believe that a condom is like murder? Like, that to me is just archaic.
I don't know. Like, I think it goes back to like Saint Thomas of Aquinas, or like that was back before they understood what semen was. They literally thought it was like little people in your penis. And then it would
I
go.
just committed the Holocaust by jerking off.
Pretty much. That's why masturbation is also like masturbation's still, I think, technically a sin or something. It's bad.
Well, I don't have a problem with calling that sin, but to say like it's a genocide, it's like the final solution. It's like
Well, that goes back to back then before they had microscopes, and I don't know how, but St. Thomas theorized that there was people in your penis, like sperm was a human.
Did you see there are 3 people on our team that have the gay tag? But continue, I just noticed that.
I see it too. No, but I think that's where they get a lot of that from, is from like that sort of thing.
Right.
And, I mean, I don't think contraceptives should be that bad, but I can see why, they don't want to encourage premarital sex.
I get that, but it's like, who does that anymore?
All right, I got some interesting Twitter news.
Oh, let's go.
That's gonna heat up the fucking heat up the what the fuck is it? The conspiracy theory debate.
Oh,
again.
I love me some conspiracies. Lay it down.
Okay. Christopher Sine, Birmingham TV anchor and former Alabama football player, was dead in an apparent suicide.
Oh, did you have information on the
who is Christopher Sine? You asked.
To the Clintons.
Hold on, damn it! I'm getting to it. Shit. Jesus, calm, easy, Shaggy. I'm gonna give you a Scooby snack, okay? Chill. Now, so the thing that Sine was known for was he broke the news of the secret tarmac meeting between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch.
Oh my god.
Dude,
yeah. There's the crazy ones.
Yep, there you go. Conspiracy theories. Come on, let's go.
All right, I'm tuning in for Wars on Monday. Let's go.
Yes. Alex Jones is already priming. He's priming and ready to go.
He's got the documents ready.
See, this is why, because a stupid, crazy shit like this is why you get people believing in conspiracy theories.
Absolutely. Seth
Rich.
Remember Seth Rich?
See, now I love to make fun of conspiracy theory shit, but this was this is gold right here. This is fucking gold.
So was the Vegas. I think the Vegas shooting was one of the big ones that turned everyone to conspiracy theorists, and then COVID. Those things and Seth Rich in 16. Do you guys remember Seth Rich?
Yeah.
Remember his name? He was
the biggest one you can't forget. Oh shit!
I actually got a warning. Yeah. That was the first warning I've ever gotten from social media. It was the Las Vegas shooting.
Oh really? What'd you say?
Yeah. So so me and all my infinite fucking wisdom, I was like, you know why that Las Vegas dude killed all those people, right? It's because it was because he didn't want to fucking hear Jason Aldean again.
That's funny. Let's see that the fucking social media, man. They have no sense of humor.
Well, no, because their algorithms, if they see a joke about violence, they go, "Oh yeah, it's violence, bad, con."
Yeah, but it's Yeah, but I mean, it was just a warning. I was like, and it was funny, and it was
is
funny
funny,
because I was
yeah.
like, look, yeah,
I saw a lot of memes like that, and
it-
it was one of the funniest things to come out of that thing, in terms of comedy. Not
yeah,
backstabbing people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
we
think
because
can
of course,
joke about crazy
'cause of
bad
course,
things.
At that time there was a country music festival, and Jason Aldean was playing at that specific time. Okay, and look, you know me. I like to make jokes that are like kind of, specifically relevant to the topic.
Just very
And sometimes
topical.
I overdo it. Sometimes I overdo it. Okay, sometimes I push the boundaries a little bit. Actually, probably all the time, but you know, get what you get. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
What do we think actually happened with that? Like, what's our conspiracies?
Well, I think there was an arms deal gone bad. The
I
US
think that's possible that he was smuggling arms. I think it's very possible. But
I
why
think-
would he shoot all these people?
I think there is a setup. He must have fucked over the U.S. government, or they need to fall back.
Or what if he was an CIA experiment that went cuckoo, like the Unabomber? Which I didn't know that till Alex Jones, not you, Alex, brought it up, and I was like, oh shit, it's true. Oh wait, no, maybe you, Alex, actually did bring it up to me once. But like, that stuff does happen, and then they would, the logical thing is they would try to cover it up. Because
Maybe
It's just funny. Like Alex Jones. The lizard people got to him.
they sucked another one to the mothership, and they dropped him.
He
down
became a
Las
slave to
Vegas.
the giant bombs.
Well, at the time, I know Alex and a bunch of people were saying it was actually an ISIS one.
Well, yeah, there are some really weird connections with that too. Because
Who was the only person investigating this too? War fucking Loomer.
Yeah, they let that one go. Like, they let the fucking case go too. Like, there was some sort of government, like FBI, CIA,
Cover up.
DHS. Is there shit all over it?
Well, they really, like, from what I remember, like, there wasn't really much in his room. There was very little known about him. It was just so weird. And he had this wife that he sent off to the Philippines for vacation right before he did this. He'd been scoping out other country,
When they said that
music
he made-
shows.
They said he made his money from like online like video
Gambling.
like, slot machines. It was slot machines. You can't make money off slot machines.
Yeah.
Like you physically can't. Like you
The only way you do it is if you you have
own
to.
the casino.
Yeah, that's that's
like
true,
they're
too. No.
designed to get money for the casino. If you could just win it.
Yeah.
And
No,
he
if
was apparently
if you
career.
only you can't play, you can only play on one machine. Like you if you're lucky, you hit on one machine and you fucking leave. That's how you play the slots. Like you'll play the slot that's closest to the exit or a hallway, right? And if you win, you bet a little bit, and if you win, you take your money and you get the fuck out. You get the fuck out of the casino altogether because you're gonna lose it all. Like that's how you do it.
It's not a career though. That's like, hey, I do this once or
Yeah,
twice.
no, that's
Fucking career.
Well, and
You
he
can't make
apparently had lots of money, lots of, I think, properties too, and he had a shit ton of guns, like a lot of them.
It's probably some sort of. He was a government asset at some point. Probably
I could
still.
see it.
Like, oh, we need to get rid of this guy. Maybe he has information that would be bad. So let's make sure that he's dead. No one feels sympathetic for him.
Or they simply just didn't want people to know that he was some sort of Fed asset or experiment or whatever, and it would look bad on the Feds that they literally let loose somebody that did the biggest mass shooting in U.S. history.
Yeah, well, did he actually do it?
Oh, I bet, yeah. I think so. Not saying that, the other possibilities aren't there, but I think he did do it.
I don't know.
Because I remember a lot of people at the time were saying that there were multiple shooters, and that seemed plausible. But then when you started looking into things, nobody's gonna drive my word home again. It started to make sense that they were echoing. They made it sound like multiple shooters, so they probably weren't.
Yeah.
And there's no evidence of like other hotels or rooms where somebody was you know, sitting there and shooting away. So it's a very weird thing. Like, it's so bizarre that we very quickly stopped caring about too, because we lost interest because we weren't getting answers. And it's remained unsolved. It's bizarre. It was disturbing. It was like, I mean, I remember it so well because I was in a, I think I was in my weather meteorology class and I was learning about it. Like, I heard the news break. I remember sitting there just like obsessing over it as it was breaking. It was crazy.
No, I think that there was a cover-up. I think he was involved in shenanigans, and the government wanted to unperson him, because you're never going to look into someone who's, like, that hated. You know, like, he's became the most hated person. Like, he must have done something really bad to fuck up and, like, have people hate him that much.
But he planned this. That's the one thing we didn't, I guess you could say we knew. We don't know what we really know anymore. But supposedly he staked out other concerts and was preparing to do this, and then he did it.
That's what they want you to
do. Maybe, honestly. It's just so weird. Very weird, bizarre thing. That and he wasn't your typical mass shooter. Like, the profile, he's some, like, old boomer that looked like, honestly, just anyone else. Like, some normie boomer.
Boomer had up to here with that country music.
Yeah, he wanted to take out the Zoomers rising up.
Pop country. I mean, as much as I hate pop country, I think that was a little bit excessive.
Yeah. Dude, this gun, the default gun.
Laura Loomer's already talking about it, right? She's already on the story.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's great. You follow her on Telegram too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good, someone needs to investigate it. There's not enough.
You know me. I had to fucking tweet. Christopher Sign didn't kill himself. Like, you know, I had to do it. You know.
Hell yeah. Whoa, what the hell is this thing? I have like a baton, an electric, like, what is it? It's not a baton. It's like a hammer. It's like a staff. Where are the baddies? Oh, did you see Trump is saying that Bitcoin's a scam?
No.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't think it's a scam, but I do think that people who are like, I would not use it as an investment vehicle, and half these fucking coins people are investing in is fucking. I think it's a stupid investment for long term. Like, you might be able to make some money here and there, but I would not.
I think in the short term, yeah, have fun with it, but don't put your life savings in it and think it's going to be this future currency. I'm actually getting more worried that the government's going to fuck with it at some point in the near future.
Yeah,
so have fun while you can.
Yeah, the government does want competition. You know, they can't print out more Bitcoin whenever they want to.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think because I think that whoever created it made themselves anonymous or some shit. So there's
no,
like
we know who made it. It's that Sochi guy or Sayo.
That's his fake name. That's not. We don't actually know who that guy is.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. Yeah, that's true. I forgot that. But well, didn't he apparently make it because he wanted to do illegal shit?
That's what everyone uses Bitcoin for. At least they used to. Like,
not anymore.
But back when it first started, like, that was the thing. I think it was probably some researcher, like, looking into some stupid, like, you know, some interesting concepts. Because, like, blockchain's a very interesting concept. Like, apart from Bitcoin itself, like, blockchain's pretty cool.
Oh, I love blockchain. Like, that's something that is not a scam. But I get why people say Bitcoin's a scam, honestly. I you know, as much as I'm a believer in crypto, that does, you know, like, in the principle of it, that doesn't mean it's not being used for nefarious purposes.
Well, I think that like Bitcoin itself, I'd feel pretty comfortable with that. But
I mean, come on.
Into these third-party fucking tokens like the Dogecoin, you know, like literal fucking meme tokens. That's where I start to.
I 100% agree on the meme tokens, but even Bitcoin I'm a little sus on. And I have been for like about a few months, but... Because I'm afraid of other countries manipulating it, like China, to devalue our currency.
How can you really manipulate Bitcoin? Like, that's the benefit. Like, I don't think you really can.
I mean, you can buy a lot of it, control a lot of it. You can also, through, I'm just going to use a general term, propaganda, but ways of influence to get a lot of people to get a lot of their money into it and manipulate it that way. Like, there's ways you can pull levers with it. Somebody explained this more in depth, and I didn't listen to the full thing about how China's getting in on it to screw with the US dollar, but that is a thing that is happening.
Why don't they just short the US dollar if they really want to do that? Like, that's pretty easy, and they could probably do it.
Well, the US dollar is relatively stable, though. Like, and a lot of countries are...
If China wants to fuck with the US dollar, like, they have enough resources, they could find ways.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an economist, so I don't understand this stuff a lot, but, you know, I would assume if they wanted to do it, they would have done that by now, so I think they're trying to do other ways.
I got money in Bitcoin, and I'm just, or not Bitcoin, but like, actually I do have a couple dollars in Bitcoin, but
I have $100 in Bitcoin, that's it.
yeah. Then I'm just basically waiting for the next fucking stimulus plan to fucking...
I don't think we're getting another one.
Yeah, I think they're done with those, because they're looking at the infrastructure thing now. That just passed the Senate, I think.
So I'm waiting for the infrastructure bill to fucking get passed before these cryptos start blowing up again.
Will they then?
Because most of these cryptos are leveraged against the fucking US dollar, which of course means they're gonna fucking raise anytime something crazy happens, like one of these expensive fucking bills gets signed, that shit's gonna jack up like a motherfucker. Because that's how Bitcoin fucking jacked up each and every time. Like when they go fucking sky high, that's usually what happens. It's like, oh, they signed another fucking stimulus plan to spend a shitload of money we don't have now. Okay, all right, now Bitcoin's at an all-time high.
I think it's been correcting for a while because it's been obviously extremely.
Well, you
high.
haven't heard anything. You haven't heard anything about like the dollar recently. Like they haven't said anything about like printing more money or like fucking Treasury Secretary Yellen walked back her comments about the inflation. Like, oh, it's not going to be as bad.
Yeah, but does anybody believe her when she says that?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's fickle shit like that will stabilize. Stabilize the dollar enough to where the fucking crypto doesn't go crazy, right?
I don't think it does.
Usually,
honestly, I think honestly it doesn't have any effect. I think a lot of this crypto thing is just a hype thing with people getting in on it. And most
investments are hype. Like most investments are usually when you talk about stocks, you talk about usually it's all about hype. Like usually you're waiting for PR or something like that, and crypto's no fucking different. Like you're looking for, like when you're investing in Bitcoin, you're looking for the next time Biden's like, oh, I'm going to sign this multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure bill. That'll be what jolts quite a few of these fucking crypto fucking things, because it's not going to jump significantly. You're talking like 1 or 2%, and that's not really worth investing. It's not a 1 or 2% jump's really not worth investing in. Not like,
well, if you do it over
like that. No, but I'm saying it's gonna go up and down 1% over the course of a day, and it's not really worth it. Like you're waiting to see these things fucking jump, and they will, because the dollar's slowly going to shit as long as Biden's in office. But I mean,
here's the other thing too. Inevitably, the dollar will get better. So
I mean, it depends. It depends. You don't fucking know that.
Well, yeah. What if?
Will.
Like, it's gonna stabilize. Like, inflation only lasts so long. Everything goes up, comes down. So
No, the dollar, the dollar is going to get shit.
Well,
The
the
dollar is going to turn
a lot of
into
everything
shit.
else is just like the dollars. You're gonna have inflation. We don't ever have deflation.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have no faith in. I have no faith in Biden. I'm sorry.
I know he's gonna fuck things up, but eventually there's a reaction to that, and eventually things will get better.
I mean, they'll
But
stabilize.
it's a matter of when.
Yeah, I mean, they'll stabilize, but that doesn't matter. Like, look, you're
Well,
waiting
it
for that
does.
jump.
If that affects Bitcoin, then
You're
it
not
does matter.
but you're not looking for that. You're not looking for, like, you're looking for that jump. You're looking for that jump. If you're looking for Bitcoin, like if you're gonna invest in Bitcoin, you're looking for that one jump where it like goes fucking haywire, where everybody panic, but where it goes, oh, we're spending $5 trillion on an infrastructure bill, and then everybody fucking panic buys these fucking cryptocurrencies.
I don't think you'll get that, honestly.
It already happened a couple of times.
Well, a lot of
That's
the
what-
spikes recently too were during like the GameStop thing, where people were just like buying every meme.
That's a different thing, because the GameStop and the AMC thing, that's more like an internal mechanism that's driving up the fucking prices. Like that was the whole thing. They were doing that to basically fuck over these hedge fund managers. But no, you're talking actual PR pump is like the crypto thing.
I think the better pumps are like, and they're unpredictable, is like, and these have been major pumps, is like when Elon tweets about it and gets it to shoot up.
Elon.
Well, Elon has a fan base. Do we want to talk about that? The Plaid announcement with that?
Yeah, if you want.
The $10,000 price increase from Elon Musk.
Well, yeah, that's the top of the line model. That's 0 to 60 in like what, 2 seconds for that car.
Well, that's interesting that he just wants to bump it up by 10 fucking grand. Like, why?
Well, because I think they were gonna make a Plaid Plus, and he said, well, the Plaid is already really good, has pretty much everything you need, so they just increased that price rather than making another model that would be even more. And the base model stays the same.
I don't know, man. I think he's a fraud.
How does that make him a fraud?
He always does stuff like this. Oh, we're gonna just start bumping this stuff up.
Well,
like,
yeah, companies change their car prices all the time.
I know, but he does more than other companies do. He keeps making these promises. He makes these outlandish promises and then fails to deliver.
Like on what?
It's like the whole Model 3. We still don't have a Cybertruck. That was supposed to be out by now.
Well, it's still in production.
It's not. You can't buy it yet. I can't go.
Yeah, like a lot of his cars, they get delayed. I don't know if that one's even been delayed, but yeah, it's in production. It's not gonna just come out now. That's.
I have not seen a single one yet. It's just funny.
They're not. He's still making them. Like, it's not available yet to buy.
I don't know, man.
It's like the semi trucks. Those aren't going to be available yet. I think actually those might come before the truck, but
see how that goes too. Because you know what's going to happen with that semi truck.
What's going to happen?
We're going to end up having no fucking truck drivers because of shit like that.
Oh yeah, we need to
he's
start
going to be saying
preparing
that
for
stuff
that.
like, oh yeah, it's going to be the next big thing, and then he never goes the way. And now we just have insanely high shipping prices.
Well, first of all, the semi trucks are not fully autonomous. They do have a driving seat in them for a human to drive it. They aren't autonomous trucks, but that's the end goal.
He has been pushing that stuff like, oh, we'll have this by 2025. Stuff like that, which he has no way of being able to do that by 2025. He said that, oh yeah, we'll have I think the one he got like yelled at by his own workers because he was making shit up and it's
he's
bullshit.
Not making things up. Is that he makes overly ambitious promises, which you could say it's probably
making shit up to bring up your stock price, which is already well above anyone else because he's a snake oil salesman. That's how he does it. There's no reason why car companies should be valued as much as his is.
so. There's no reason Apple should be valued as much as Amazon or anything.
Well, so Apple's incredibly profitable because they're just regular computers, but people spend like 5 times the amount of the price. Like they're incredibly profitable. That's why Apple's doing it. But like Elon Musk, he's not particularly profitable. The only way that he's
very successful and profitable now. I mean, he used to not be
profitable,
but he's creating an innovative company.
He made some profit now, but he's just barely like profitable at this current time, and I doubt that's gonna last for a while because
no other car company can say that they tried to be a new car company since I think Chrysler. He's like the only one that succeeded. So, hell yeah, I mean, that's why people invest.
Well, no, there's a bunch of tiny like little shops that do shit.
Can I say something about Sam Richards?
Oh yeah, let's go back to him.
I was I said that because I was like while y'all were while y'all were shitting on Elon Musk,
he's like 6 foot, like he might make $1 million. Like he's one of the most expensive teachers at Penn State.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look, I was looking at the Owen Schwarrier video again,
oh my God. We didn't even mention that Owen like roasted him so hard.
That's what I wanted to get back to. Like, look, now, myself and Sean both took Sam Richards' class.
We did.
And, look, we don't agree. There's most of the stuff that he says in that class, I personally don't agree with. Is that do you think that's a safe assumption? Like, yeah.
I think for me it was because I don't know if he does the same materials. Like he does some things like I think the same every year, but some things he does change up.
So here's one of the problems that I had with his class was, he used to give these very loose statistics to back up these fucking wild fucking claims, and he'd get debunked almost every year. Like every year he'd get some email or something like something in this class that'd be like, look, that's not true because X, Y, and Z, da 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 da. And then what does he do the next year? He rolls out the same fucking shit. Like he's like, they'll forget about it, and he shows the same shit, right? And that's probably my biggest gripe with what he's trying to say, because I'm like, okay, diversity of opinion is okay, but like when you have your opinion, when you have your thought, and somebody debunks it, and then you still fucking preach that shit to a ton of people anyway. It goes from being an opinion to being propaganda. Like you're just like, it's wrong. You just don't give a shit. You're pushing it. Like
right.
Yeah. So, but in any case, anyway. So going back to the Owen Schwarrier video.
Schwarrier the Destroyer.
I'm not gonna lie.
What's even about? Like, what actually goes on in there? I'm curious. I never took
that's a loaded question because there's a big answer. But what were you saying, Phil? Oh, because I'll address that after.
Look, now, going back to that, I disagree with a lot of what Professor Sam talks about in his class. But I gotta admit, when I watched that Owen Schwarrier video, I kind of felt bad for him because Owen gave it like he just went. He went for the throat. I mean, that was bad. He talked about him being gay for black dudes, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, just tore into him. Like, good God.
I bet even Sam would admit it was funny.
I mean, it was. Look, because it's so I laughed, but at the same time, it was one of those I laughed, but I was like, oh fuck.
Laugh, but
I kind of feel bad because his followers are gonna fucking try to go after Source 119 or try to go after his shit is probably blowing up, like his YouTube videos and shit like that. I'm sure the comments are probably turned off on some of those videos or whatever, but like,
I remember
I
when
felt
you getting
bad.
on the comments during my class. It was so funny.
Yeah.
One
I
guy
mean,
banned me.
but like, but yeah, I mean, I really like. For me, it was like, damn, he went into him. Like, I was just like, good God. And I know Owen is like, he's a little bit more like, I know he like, I always, every time I see a video of his, I'm always thinking, oh, he's kind of methodical in his approach. He's, he 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 does his thing, but it's not like this was like consistent going for the throat. It was
Yeah.
like, wow. I was
And to
very
be fair, when I first saw clips of Social 19 before I took the class, you do get this like knee jerk sort of visceral reaction because you'll hear the craziest stuff, and it sometimes is out of context, but sometimes it's
It's even so much a class as a fucking performance you're going to every week. Like you're paying to go to some sort of like not like a musician, but like in a similar vein to it. Like it's a show. It's like a dinner theater. Like, oh yes, we're gonna go and have this 1,000-room audience. I'm gonna go and tell you about why white people suck.
Well, look, and for people to understand, like Sam's political ideology is honestly, it's kind of like a hippie. Like that's the best way I can describe it, like a modern day hippie. And I am very hippie-ish, like a right-wing hippie.
No, you are not.
A right-wing hippie. In terms of my idealism in some things, in terms of my music and cultural preferences.
Music, everything else.
Everything. Oh yeah, not the drugs.
No, you do not do any drugs.
Okay, I'm a trad hippie. But with him, it's like he has the like. This is I'm gonna just say stuff that he said publicly, but like, cause he's admitted to doing like drugs. He's even publicly said like, he wished he'd like, I think, been with a black dude or tried like gay sex or something.
What?
yeah. He's
like
if something ever happens, like if his wife dies or something like that, or something ever happens where he ends up being single, he would probably do a guy like that's which hey,
the thing with him
perfect. There's nothing wrong with that.
I can understand like he wants to try everything once before
personal,
you die.
Yeah. Personal preferences are okay, but it was like Owen Schwartz. Man, he went into him like he was just like, oh, slapping hands. Like, look, he probably has a thing to do with black guy. Like he wants a black guy in him or something. I'm like, holy
college professor. He sounds like a fucking circus. Like, oh yeah, I'm gay for black guys. Like, dude, like if I was, if my wife died, like, dude, what the fuck? Who says that shit? I'll go to my
friend. He didn't say the thing about the wife died. He didn't say that.
He said, he says this in front of a bunch of impressionable kids. Like, man, I've never had his class. I don't have any sort of predilection towards this dude. He sounds like a fucking freak.
Yeah,
a fruitcake.
He's a very interesting person.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah. Because when you have to understand, I've had private conversations with him, and you can tell he is at the very least open-minded.
Oh, I bet he is open-minded. He wants to go and fuck a black guy. He wouldn't mind having gay sex with a black guy.
I know. But unlike a lot of these Marxist professors, he isn't closed off to conservatives. He doesn't shun conservatives. He vocally would literally be like, I need a conservative to come to the front of the room, and I'd raise my hand. He'd drag my ass up there. Where he'd even literally say before class, like, hey man, can you participate today? I'm like, sure. Or he's like, hey, I need you today, man. But he did want to show the other side. Like I have to give him credit where credit's due on that. But the criticism I do have on that for him is that he did.
Part we have today, he's at least giving, doing he's not completely just shit talking you like that. That's the
bar's low, dude. Because I've had way like he's actually been I've had a handful, a lot of professors, I wouldn't say a lot, a good chunk of professors that were fair to me from my viewpoints, that knew him when I was vocal. And I've had a lot that were extremely unfair. Way more unfair than Sam ever was. I mean, Sam was not unfair. But the only criticism I had was with his class, this is a general problem, is that he would usually have these topics that each class was about, which I felt was a good, structure. But he wouldn't dive deep enough into things.
Well, how can you fucking dinner perform? It's like a fucking dinner and like one of those performances.
Well, that's a lot of. I mean, that's by design. A lot of sociology, like a lot of their claims and all that shit aren't very complex in thought. They're not. They're like they're wild assumptions that are very narrow in research and very narrow in hypothesis. Like, yeah, the reality of each thing that they're trying to explain is much greater than the work that they put into it. So it's, of course, and it's either it's poorly researched or it's manipulative. Like that, those are the only two scenarios for those particular subjects. And Sam, I mean, I don't know if it's, I used to think that it was just poorly researched, but then I'm thinking, no, this is probably manipulative, because when he's presented with information, then it's like, oh man, that's wow. And then fucking the next semester he posts the same shit. Like, he does the same shit, and like I'm like, well, what the fuck? Like,
dude, it's
I
fucking
think it's impressive how he reacts. It's like, oh wow.
Sociology is a fucking scam. It's a scam course.
It feels pretty scammy. Like, yeah, initially it doesn't. Like, initially when you first walk into it, it doesn't feel scammy. But once you look into it, then you start to see the scammy part of it, and it's like, oh.
Well, the thing with Sam too, and I wanted to say is with CJ too, because this is something I've been trying to change about myself for the past few years. Is a lot of these people aren't, and I don't know this about Sam, but I get the vibes. They aren't particularly well read, and because that's something that's hard to do.
Or smoking too much weed to really have any sort of short-term, like any sort of long-term memories. Like, oh yeah, man, we go fuck some black eye up the ass and talk about white privilege.
Well, I can tell he reads a lot of news.
Oh yeah, probably BuzzFeed.
Like, there was one time.
That's the thing. Well, the thing with him is he knows a lot of these, like, he knew about Milo. He knew about like a lot of these, figures on the right that most professors.
It's literally fucking BuzzFeed. I think they have an
article
article
about
Milo. It's like literally.
Any liberal professor that tells you they don't know who Milo is full of shit.
No, I agree.
Know thy enemy. Like, that's, number one. Like,
I know. But there is more to it, because he doesn't just know them. Like, he knows, like, maybe like a video they were on that I've seen, or some like interview, or something they did recently. Like, he does keep up with things.
Oh, he should. Like, you know how much money this motherfucker makes?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can probably find it. Like, he's up there with like the football player salary. Like, he makes he's probably one of the most, if not the most. I think he is for the most highest paid professor.
He's definitely up there.
I think he's definitely top 5, top 10 maybe. But he doesn't, from what I've seen, and this is something Phil mentioned too, it's a good observation, is that he doesn't back up enough of what he says. He says a lot of things that sound good, that make sense. And I'm not saying he doesn't have anything to back him up. I don't know. But when you see this stuff in his class, I wonder what's the data behind that. Where are you getting this from? And he'll sometimes pull things that are legit studies, but sometimes he only show one study that shows one thing, where there are other studies that contradict it or debunk it. It's not as deep diving. That was my biggest problem, is that he really doesn't dive deep. One thing he did do that was good was when we were talking about the immigration crisis under Trump, with migrant families coming over the border, and Trump was separating them and all this other stuff, and just sending people back. He had me on there as representing the right, and somebody else representing the left, and somebody that I think was in the middle or didn't know anything. I forget. I think there were 3 people 3 or 2, and he would describe it, and he would say, interject when there's something that I'm saying is opinionated, that's biased, or I'm leaving something out, just interject. And I caught him a few times because one point he called, I think, Trump or his policies like, oh no, he said that Stephen Miller, his immigration czar, was racist. And I said, dude, that's an opinion. How is he racist?
That is biased language.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Sam's, like, look, one thing he got in trouble for this year was because he kept pointing out that with Stop Asian Hate, that most of these supposed attacks weren't even attacks, they were just verbal insults, and the perpetrators in the attacks were mostly black. So this idea that it was white supremacy or white supremacists that were at the root of these Asian hate crimes is totally false. And he, credit where credit's due, pointed something out that most people on the left wouldn't, and he got shit for it. And so it's like, it's those moments where I do give him credit, and I'm open to him. You can have a conversation with him, which is nice, and it's good. But he then falls into some stupid liberal, or not liberal, leftist stuff, like that we're not equal, black and white and brown, all these other races, and there's white privilege, gender's on a spectrum. Like he goes into some, it's usually the social issues, that's all of his class, frankly, where he's just like, wrong on.
Yeah, one of the times, one of the very few times that I interacted, like his Twitter thing, I think it's like I Unlearn or something. I don't think he's been on there for a while, but I was like,
he hasn't.
Why do you say it like I Unlearn? He's like, well, you know,
he hates education.
All the things that I thought I knew. The more I dug deep into it, were more weren't true or weren't real. So I was it was best to just completely unlearn and then relearn from there. I'm like, well, wouldn't it make more sense to just learn everything and then come up with your own opinion based off of everything that you've learned? Like everything, like if something's proven to be bullshit, maybe you learn it and then realize it's bullshit because of X, Y, and Z, and then come up to your own conclusion. And he's like, you know, that's interesting. And like he totally gave me a bullshit response, but like, yeah. And then like yeah, you could tell it was a BS response, but I'm like, you know, whatever.
Well,
like,
did you notice too that he's like he does some like stemming with his like
probably has autism. Like I mean, maybe he has something else too, because he keeps blurring out these like just weird like just uncouth things like most people know not to fucking say.
Well, he has these like beads that he plays with the whole time. It's funny. Yeah. But one thing I will also give him, I'm trying to be fair with this, is he does set out to make people uncomfortable, to make them think. And I do think that's an important thing that doesn't happen enough on a campus. And what he does sometimes try to do, which is a persuasion technique, is pacing and leading, where you match your audience's emotions and in his case opinions to lead them to something else. The problem is he does the pacing, but he doesn't always do the leading. He doesn't get them to a new place. It takes time, I get it, but and that's my thing, is like I don't necessarily disagree with how he goes about things. It's just he doesn't do it as much as 100% like that he should be. It's like it's a half measure, if that makes sense.
It's a half-assed response.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, because I remember in private conversations, which I did enjoy with him, you know, and because he could be fun and nice and he's open, but I would point out some things and he would just be like, ah, that's wild, man, or ah, that's insane. It just wouldn't go anywhere. I'm like, I got you on that. Now, I'm not trying to make a debate, but like, you know, I point out something, I keep getting hit by a warthog, and he just wouldn't, you know, go from there. He
does not
unlearn.
It does not compete. That's why he's not about unlearning. Like, what do you think's really going to happen? Like, do you think people are really going to be taught like they had to be unlearned from the liberal education system?
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna have to really fucking unlearn? It's all fucking liberal on your face. He's a scam. He's a scam artist. He's a charlatan. He goes around there, dances around like, oh yeah, man, we're gonna do all this cool stuff. It's really just a circus act. He is a circus performer masquerading as a teacher in the fraud study of sociology.
There was one class that I looked at where he went after Ben Shapiro. Now this was before. Okay, so no, this was before Ben Shapiro went to the fucking dark side. Okay, right. So
the Groyper movement.
Right, that's before he went fucking and did a conservative swan dive. He was saying something, and I think Sam Richards was saying he was saying that Ben Shapiro was making it sound like, oh, it's your fault that whatever happens to you because it's your fault. Because he was saying that because he was trying to pull people in on the idea of because nothing's ever really your choice.
I'm with you, by the way, Alex. I'm on the big gun.
Whoever was doing that, like, bro, they're fucking banshee over there.
So he's like, oh, nothing's ever really your choice. Everything, like, no. And I'm like, and I'm always like, and I was always like, well, the problem with that, and again, I always stick to this old adage, like, look, when you start thinking like that, you take away the person's individuality. Like, you're taking away the person. Like, at the end of the, like, whether there are certain variables that lead to a person's decision making, but at the end of the day, it is still their decision to make.
I agree, but one thing that I do agree with Sam on, but I think he goes a little too far with it, is his concept of the invisible. You're gonna laugh at this, Alex. The invisible strings, and how we're all kind of these puppets that have strings pulling us. And what he means by that is the outside forces that influence us, mostly subconsciously. And that's something I learned a lot through Scott Adams. It is pretty true. It's just, I think Sam takes it, again, a little too far, where I do think there's a lot out of your control. And he agrees with me on the thing, too, that most people are emotional. We make decisions out of emotions. Like, he's like part psychologist, part sociologist. Because he and that's why I'm trying to be fair, is like, I'm not trying to be fair, I'm just being straight up, is that there's room where he is right on. And he's actually, would disagree with a lot of his, like, lefty counterparts. But he, on other he's a contradiction in many ways. Not in a sensible way, if that makes sense.
I disagree. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I agree that there, of course, are influencing factors, and we have to weigh those influencing factors whenever somebody makes a decision that they make.
But it's not some big excuse.
However, you still it's still your choice to make that decision. Like, that's still at the end. Like, you know, that's like, okay. So for example, let's throw an example out there. The Aaron Hernandez, the tight end for the Patriots that went and fucking killed those people and shit, right?
Right.
So you could say, we could say, oh, this guy had, CTE or concussion syndrome, where he took too many blows to the head, and and he had drug problems. He had internal psychological problems. He had a rough upbringing. He had, like, all these things. He had a lot of these factors and a lot of these influencers in his life, but he still made that choice to kill somebody.
Exactly.
Like, that, and you still have to be responsible for those decisions that you make. So,
I think that's a good way to put it, that yes, there are a lot of outside influences that you can't control, or you can't fully control, but you are, at the end of the day, still responsible for your actions.
Then what is the whole purpose of sociology then? Like, I saw,
from what Tavir tells me, the best way to think about psychology is studying things at a micro individual level, where sociology studies things on a macro group level. Like
Then
you're not
what-
looking at individuals, you're looking at groups and
The society.
So
They-
inherently-
society.
So it's an inherently racist,
Well-
sexist. It's like everything they don't want to be because it's basically
well,
looking at stereotypes.
Kind of,
It's-
actually, because you're
it's-
trying
well,
to
I mean,
find
it's-
trends amongst groups and society.
Yeah.
it's naturally flawed. Look, studying society is naturally flawed because society is all but a bunch of individuals going in, in whatever direction that they're going in.
Right.
So there's always going to be that. There's always going to be that flaw from the beginning of, you have a bunch of different people making a bunch of different decisions, and they're going. There's a multitude of reasons why a bunch of different people are going in that similar direction, but so
At the end of the
there's
day, you still have to make generalities.
yeah, which again, it's flawed. I mean, it's ultimately flawed because those there's because there's a bunch of different reasons for individuals to make those those decisions that create those generalities.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, again, it's not, and that's the argument. It's like, it's not complex enough. It's too simplistic in definition to really, to have an accurate. So it's never to have an accurate display. So it's not really. It's never going to be that. It's just flawed. It's just flawed in its very foundation, and that.
I just don't see what is the purpose of this? Like, what job is this preparing you for?
It's for a fulfillment center at Amazon. That's pretty much what it's like.
Yeah, like,
No, I mean, you could be a
fucking social worker. Like, I mean,
well, no, because there's master's degree in social work, so it's not.
You gotta do
like
psychology. You're probably better off with that than the fucking.
You are.
psychology.
You are.
You try to go work as some government official. So I'm like, oh yes, here's a policy we should do.
Yeah.
Or be a college professor. It's like a medieval studies degree.
Yeah. You're done. Like, yeah, you're congratulations. Thank you for your degree. Now, make sure these boxes are ready for the robot, right? So,
Well, what this class honestly kind of falls more into, and it's a bunch of different things, but what it should be more or less is a philosophy class that makes you think about society. Like,
but then again,
if you want to get something out of it, that's what you should do. Like, one of actually the ones that two of the ones that were good was the one where he had that dude from, I think, like Iraq or Afghanistan, who was with his family in his home, I think, and a drone strike took out his place, and it was an accident because they felt like a terrorist was there, but his family got killed. But he eventually forgave the person that did it, and so the whole lesson was on forgiveness. Very Christian thing, actually.
Yeah, so that literally is like that. That brings up a good point. Why even have sociologists have philosophy?
Well, that's what I think it should more or less be. But the difference between that and philosophy is more around ideas, where this is more of ideas, but also looking at trends within society, why things are, how things are, what's happening in society. And so I think something like that's really good. It was really interesting and moving, but I had a hard time kind of like, shit, I don't think I'd be able to forgive that. But hey, maybe that's something we need to strive towards, so it was kind of good. What was also good was his one on death, which made me reconsider the idea of reincarnation being possible.
Well, okay, well, what the fuck does that have to do with, like, see, this is...
Well, because he's talking about how different cultures have different beliefs in what happens when you die.
Why, okay, I'm about to say, why is this in a public... Why is my taxpayer money going to pay for...
Oh yeah, he also has a class with that he brings his wife in. It's called the needy penis, I think it is, where he talks about like he talks about sex and the sexual organs and like and like how
he brought her in, but it wasn't for that. I missed out.
It was not. I mean, it was like really, you're gonna do that? I mean, it was an interesting class, but I'm like, really, you're gonna like this? This has nothing to fucking do with sociology or race relations or
Oh,
anything.
that's the
Like
other
you're
thing.
just
His class is supposed to be about race relations. That's the title of it.
yeah. And then he'd have like
race is mentioned more than a lot of other things, but it's not every class.
and he,
God, race relations. God, that's such a fucking buzzword. Like, the people who are going to take that class, what do you think they need to unlearn? They're fucking leftists to begin with. You're taking a class on race relations. Because guess what? Guess what you're not going to find there ever as a conservative professor.
Yeah.
Your race relations class. That's never going to happen. Yeah, heaven forbid you mention... Like, see if... I mean, I'd love to be in his position. Like, a favorite professor teaching a race class.
Wouldn't that be interesting if you had the exact same type of deal, but you were based in red pills? Like, that'd be funny.
You'd get sued.
You'd have conspiracy theories.
I had professors rolling when I was like, when they were I was in the I think I was in the financial aid office or some shit, and I was like, well, look, I mean, if I really wanted to get a 4.0 or above, all I would have had to do is take a sociology major, and then say that, you know, Trump is evil, I'm ashamed to be white, blah blah blah, and then I'd be a fucking Rhodes Scholar in no time. Like, and the people that pretty much everybody in that office started cracking up. Like, yeah, no, but I tried to push myself. Look, I tried to push myself. I picked a hard major at a good business school. I took French for my freaking foreign language.
Oh, God, don't give me that shit about French.
Look, I did it because somebody said it was hard, and I wanted to push myself.
Bullshit.
Right?
That's what
I wanted to do.
Easy as shit.
No, Spanish is easy as shit.
No,
it was for me because I grew up around it. Like that was like for me personally, the French was hard because I wasn't really around it. Like, I was like, well, the French is the second most spoken language in the world, and I wanted to go and I kind of wanted to, you know, I kind of wanted to learn it because of that. I'm like, all right, well, I haven't been around it much. So I wanted to push my, you know, I wanted to push my view.
Talk to girls and be like, oh, they do kung fu.
Nah, I mean, I really wasn't in.
That's okay. I wouldn't be either. Probably some
the only purpose of friend is like to go and get some like say some nasty.
I was very methodical in my approach, but I mean, but
I took Spanish because I took it in high school and I had. And that's another
and that's another shit thing about fucking college too. Is like it totally shits on people that push themselves. Like, yeah,
dude,
like it's like
the language at all. Like, dude, we're fucking in America. Why do I need? I have never used a language other than English when I work. You know, unless you're working in a degree that requires you to do like.
I mean, it's like, okay, so it's, but I mean, a lot. One of the things that you put on your GPA, like on your resumes, like your fucking or anything else, is your GPA, and your GPA is a piss poor fucking indicator for how intelligent you are, how knowledgeable you are on whatever subject it is. Because maybe you went outside the box, maybe you pushed yourself, and maybe you struggled a little bit, but you know, you kind of, you know, you worked through it and succeeded.
Well,
but of course you weren't going to get it. But of course you weren't going to get a fucking A if you were pushing yourself and you didn't initially know the subject matter material, and you sure as shit weren't going to get an A every fucking class. So like, you know, so I felt like it was a very poor. I don't know. I feel like it's not a very good translation of how intelligent a person is, or what kind of drive the person has, or like
it depends on what major you took. Like, if you're taking a STEM major, then yeah, like you can't go and bullshit that. But if you're taking like philosophy major, medieval studies, sociology, anything that doesn't fucking matter, like marketing, you know.
Hey.
Even then, but look, I mean, even if you took say you took like say you took an engineering degree or something like that, and it's like, okay, obviously, you know, the Asian kids, they already knew the fucking subject matter material, so they were getting A's. They were riding fucking high. You struggled with it, but you managed to work hard, learn the material, and then get through it. But you sure shit weren't getting an A, like, because of it. Like, that doesn't really give me an indicator that, like, that person's going to be fucking more, like the Asian person was going to be more equipped to be for the job than you are, or whatever. When, like, there's not a good, that, like, the GPA is just a terrible indicator for, I don't know.
What else are you gonna do? Like, where else are you gonna use it? Tests?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, they do, and that.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was bad on the SATs by the extremely high GPA.
They don't.
But yeah, but I mean, it's like
people can see, like, schools can go and make their kids look smarter than they really are.
Well, with the SATs, that more comes down to how good of a test taker are you. It's not really how much.
Well, it's how many times you've done that test too, because like I took the one test originally, and then
I mean, at least a lot of these job places are like going deeper into it. Like, oh, what's your major GPA, not your fucking they ask for your total GPA and then your major GPA or whatever.
I've never seen that.
I've seen it, like,
it must be new because I've never seen it on a proper job.
Which makes sense because it's like, dude, you could pack your shit full, you could pack your fucking you could pack your course load full of fucking sociology courses and balloon your GPA up.
Yeah.
At like, oh man, and then like you could be a shit accounting fucking major, like, you know, with all your accounting stuff. But it's like, oh, I get, you know, I've aced all my sociology courses, so I still have above a 3 GPA. And
hey, don't make fun of Jeff when he's not here. It's not his fault that he picked the.
I did not say one. I did not say Jeff's name once.
We did say Sam a lot.
We did say Sam a lot. Yeah.
My ears were burning. So.
Oh. They were burning, huh?
I heard his name.
Well, share your feelings, Mr. Tough Guy. No, I'm just talking. How you holding up there, Sammy?
Good. I did apparently that Tariq Nasheed guy is making like a homoerotic, like, black documentary or something. The guy.
He strikes me as like a closet homo type.
Him and Sam should go and like jump in on that. They like the homosexual stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not you, Sam Richard.
You know, no, I know.
You will jump in on it.
I know who.
I know. If you want to, go ahead. I mean, you know.
Yeah,
no, I know.
Your choice.
I know you guys are talking. Jeff was actually saying like I should get that Sam Richards guy on the Whitfield report.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
And,
Look, we could do it. He's welcome. He's welcome to come on our shit. Like,
yeah,
we'll be happy to freaking put the heat on him.
Can you tell Jeff he needs to appear on InfoWars with Owen Schroyer?
Yeah. Well, he's probably not going to.
Well, I mean, Jeff won't even show up for a debate with Dictator Phil on my show.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah.
That's right, Jeff. I'm calling you out. Oh, I had to cancel because I got called into work the day.
Bullshit. That's not work. What the SOS 119 class? That ain't work.
Probably sucking off Sam. Like, oh, I want to know what it like fucking up me. Preparing for the black guy that's gonna take my wife's place.
Just a vow.
My name's Sam.
Yeah, I was telling these guys, I did feel a little bad for Sam Richards with that video though.
Me too.
I was like, wow, like Owen just, I mean,
Dude, he's a fucking communist. I don't care.
I know. I agree with most of that, right? And I disagree with most of what Sam says. And I'm like, a lot of what he says is bullshit. But I'm like, but it was just the way that Owen just fucking tore into, like, it was just
Yeah.
like at some point it was like Rocky, right? I felt like I was the black ring coach outside of the ring. I was like, throw the damn towel already.
Yeah, it's Apollo Creed just pounding him to the
Yeah,
freaking pavement.
jeez.
Well, and I honestly, I will say he is. You grow. He grows on you when you talk to him one on one.
Yeah,
In the class, he's a little different because he's trying to do something. When he's with you, though, he picks your brain more, and just wants to kind of think about things and have discussion. I just wish his class dove deeper. That's really the big thing for me, because it just felt like we would touch on these things but not really go anywhere with it. Like the climate change one was really weird, but he did also make good points, like with trade, with manufacturing, where he goes,
Yeah.
hey, your t-shirt is made by slaves. How do you feel about that? You're okay with that? Why?
like, yeah, it sounds like somebody's getting ripped off. But yeah, yes, that was a Joe Rogan joke. Okay, I apologize.
Yes.
Look, I totally Amy Schumered that joke.
Did you know he's
But
only
look,
5'3"?
Who, Joe Rogan?
Yes.
yeah.
Sure.
Oh, wow.
Somebody, did you see somebody was I think they put up like a banner, they made some
Yeah, and I bet you I know who funded that
Milo.
too. Nope.
He makes short jokes all the time, which is funny. But Joe
Nope,
Rogan had this-
not Milo, the other retard
Joe
who.
Rogan, because like, man, he's a fucking fighter too.
Well, no,
I mean-
they did this thing in the sky where they said that Joe Rogan is literally 5'3".
No, I saw that, but you know who's been saying that for years, right?
Joey Diaz.
Oh, what's
No.
up, buddy?
Nope, the guy who you always
Do you guys have your drinks ready?
Yes,
I have
I'm
my
ready.
water ready. We're gonna say it.
the
3, 2,
guy
1.
the guy
Water drinking
the
game.
guy is
Disgusting.
the guy is obsessed with Joe Rogan's height. Like he literally did an entire like weird esoteric stream about Rogan's height once. And it's because he's mad, and it's all because he's mad that he didn't get invited to the cool club with like Joey Diaz and Bert Kreischer, who, by the way, can we just all acknowledge that Bert Kreischer is gay?
What the fuck's
Who's
Bert
that?
Kreischer?
That's the dude. That's the dude that does his fucking comedy shows shirtless and shit, and he has this huge gut, and he talks about his experiences with Russians and shit like that.
What?
It's
It sounds like some fucking watch it. It sounds mildly interesting. Reminds me of that like one guy from that like show with the meat.
He's
The
one of the guys.
Came on.
He's one of the guys that Rogan always does Sober October with.
Yeah, he needs to be like sober all the fucking time. That guy's got some issues.
Rogan?
Oh no! If I talk about your man, my bad.
Oh, Owen. Yeah,
Yeah,
take a sip.
Okay, it's like the sip. Ah, fuck! I can't do that right now. I got the turret.
You're on a kill streak.
I got the turret. I ripped the turret off.
Oh, you keep doing
No.
that. I need to do that too.
No, well, see, he supposedly quit drinking, but
Well, I guess
like
bleach.
jury's out on that though.
Owen or Joe?
Owen.
Yeah, X to doubt. Well, then again, he might not need it. So.
Fuck.
Bro, you were on the top of the leaderboard last round. You had 24, 25 kills. I'm
Yeah.
right next to you, boy.
They're spawning over here now.
Where the fuck did you
I
go?
need to show you the fucking forge man on this game. That's trippy. I mean, it's cool. It's like one of the best game. Like you can make your own fucking map pretty much.
So Phil, I have
I've heard of that.
I have a question for you.
what's up?
As one of the most manly men, I have to, that I know on the internet. what do you think of Fag Pride Month?
Oh boy, we're getting demonetized.
Well, who? What I think of what?
No, not
What
that
do you
we
think?
ever make
What do you
any
think of Gay Pride Month?
money.
Why does it have to
Why
be
do
a
we-
fucking
why
month?
do we need months for every fucking thing?
Like Jesus, it's like we got way too many. We have way too many colored bracelets. We got way too many fucking months. Like, dude, can we just like, I don't know, can we just have like a day where everybody loves everybody and then get over this shit? Like, I'm like,
Scam to sell merch and to get like fucked in the ass.
let's have like just have a day where everybody fucks everybody and then like it's over for a whole year.
So it's gonna be like the Purge, but with like shove stuff up your ass.
Gay
You get butt fucked by a tranny and then it's like over until next year.
Imagine there's like this tranny that's like running around the neighborhood at night.
Do it.
Comes
I'll
up,
do it.
like right in the butt
Bring
of your
that
dad.
beautiful man ass over here. Like, yo.
No,
So
no. It's a silent killer. Just like sneaks up on you, like where you're trying to sleep, right in the butthole, and you're dead.
Fuck, I'm out of ammo with this. Fuck that.
Yeah, I got grenade. Oh, I died. But
Yeah, that's just
no, I think
too
it's
much.
ridiculous, and it gets more ridiculous because you get all these. Remember this like was first a thing. I don't know if this was a thing during the 2012 or 2013, whatever, or 2014 decision, but it probably was around that time. Like only like a few companies like changed their logos and shit, and then like last year it was like every motherfucking company, and then this year it's like, oh, you thought every company did it? Well, guess what? There were a lot more that didn't do it, except the ones in the Middle East.
What's
And Russia.
Yeah.
See, that's why, like, if I had to go somewhere else, man, I'd consider Russia. Like, I mean, as corrupt as they are, at least they're taste.
Yeah,
that's-
I'd probably go to Poland first, but
no? What's really funny is like what's really funny is like even I swear I even saw that like BET had like a pride thing, which is hilarious.
In many ways.
Which is hilarious considering how openly homophobic most black people are.
Well, what's crazy is that it started off of like some of the little corporations changing their logos and shit. But it feels like this time it's like even more. Now they're changing their logos. Like in fucking Halo here, they had Master Chief with a fucking gay pride flag, and you can change your badge in this game, like your ID
dude,
badge.
fucking RuneScape, man.
Yeah, even
Had the whole protest.
even in fucking COD, or at least COD Mobile, they have
What?
like
Dude,
they
fucking
ha-
RuneScape had that whole issue with the protests.
Yeah.
they have I'm not making this up. They have like a rainbow like AR-15 or something like that.
God.
Right.
It's making
You're
this.
actually in AR-15, they'd hate you too.
What was that?
Pretty colors.
You actually had an AR-15 though, they probably wouldn't like you. Call of
Well,
Duty,
the joke. Oh wait, I think I found a rainbow gun. It's on the floor in this game. But
You know-
what
you
this
know when
does
you're-
is it makes so many people just fucking homophobic because it feels like propaganda. Like,
It fucking is
It
propaganda.
is propaganda. It's information warfare.
but why are all these companies doing it? Like,
Because-
Exactly. It's
Because China's funding them to fucking do it.
I don't think China would
It-
fund this.
No.
I think
It's-
I don't think
Chi- well,
everything's China.
no, I think this is I think this is information warfare, and China's at the very least funding it.
it's
Like they're not in. If they're not in on it, they're at least funding it.
This
it's-
is
it's-
made in America, baby. This queer shit. That's made in America.
Well, yes, no, that shit is made in America, but I'm saying it's funded because they know it's fucking divisive, and a divided
Well, and I mean-
America is great for fucking China.
It's a stretch. I think
Well, and also, I mean, no, I got to agree with Phil on this one, but also, like, do any of these corporations like really care about like gay people? Like
they
really?
care about money.
that's what they do,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's my point.
But
like,
some do believe in their woke stuff. Like that's the thing.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, I feel it does feel like propaganda, but is it really when there are ones that do it for money. They're ones that do it for ideology. Like what? It's a weird thing because it's every company. Like it's literally every company. It's just it's like the BLM thing during the summer. It wasn't just one or two companies. It was every company.
You know how many businesses?
That's why you need to make your own company, man. We need to go and fund some shit, make some base.
Yeah, we need to start a business and get some of that Chinese money.
Take the Chi-Com money to beat the Chi-Coms.
Take the Russian money. Take Russian. But they at least are based.
Yeah, well, it's just I'm just saying that it. I think the simple answer is that's propaganda, but it just I don't know. It's so weird that I feel like there's more to it. Because I think money is a big part of a lot of things, but with the Pride one, does it really help them make more money? Like when Target puts Pride shit on like their toilet paper, does that make them more money?
Oh no, they're taking the toilet paper.
What was that?
I think it's actually based.
Well, actually, I used a bad example, but like,
I think they should
to clean up the after party mess.
Many of these corporations are relying on China, if not for money, for for many of the
Targets relied on China.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, are you kidding me?
China, they're probably getting either stuff made in China or they're dealing with Chinese customers. But
there's a lot of in China. Like, do they make
there's a lot of
that's
a lot of their products come from China. A lot of products.
But Sean, you said something a moment ago that I want to go back to, which is that the pride stuff actually like makes people homophobic. And I've actually noticed the same thing with like Black Lives Matter, and that Black Lives Matter actually is making people legit hate black people.
Well, I've seen my grandparents, they mentioned shit like that before, like
I mean, and I mean, I hate to say it, but like I don't hate black people, but it's like with this Black Lives Matter, like people are reaching, like, we're getting we're getting blamed for shit that we didn't even do in our lives. So like
And the thing I always wonder is why is this the hill they're dying on? Why is it critical race theory? Why is it transgenders? Like they pick what's
I try to run away
things.
Because I mean, as much as I hate to say it, like the conspiracy theorists are right. They want to destroy the soul of America.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? What is the soul of America? Like, are they trying... Like, my thing is, I think these people come from a worldview that America... Old America is inherent... Or I should say traditional America is evil. And we're going to repeal and replace it with new ideology.
Yeah, at least they have a fucking plan for that, like Trump.
But it comes from Marxism, even if they don't realize it. But it's also they want to.
Some of them definitely realize it though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right, but some of them don't. And what I'm saying too is like they also do things that basically destroy family, like Christianity. Their attacks on Christianity, attacks on marriage, normal heterosexual marriage. But why? Why do they want to destroy the family?
You remember when
with the government? Oh, this guy's
You remember when the state secretary went up to fucking Alaska to have a meeting with the Chinese, and then the Chinese and the Chinese envoy ended up she ended up going on the pulpit and saying, "Oh, the Americans have no fucking leg to stand on. They're not speaking from a position of strength. They're not. They should be fixing their own problems, like with the Black Lives Matter and da 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 da." Nice. The Chinese woman had pink hair. She looked like a fucking total. Like she legitimately looked like a total fucking like
SJW,
social total SJW. No, the Chinese are totally in on it, on this shit, because they know it's destroying the American society, and that's exactly what they want. because America united is completely unbeatable. So what do? You divide them.
I agree with that. Yes, I do agree. They know that when we're divided, we're not.
The actual BLM and all that stuff probably came from the U.S. But it
actually it came from Australia. I think it was like a ship.
Well, it could have been then too, but the funding and the widespread growth that it had was China had a lot to do with that.
I don't know, man.
I think the media had a bigger play.
Who owns the fucking media?
That did this more than China.
Jesus Christ, who owns the fucking media?
Them.
The Chinese.
Those people won't do that. They're actually they have other.
They look. Disney has a Disney, Universal. All these people have fucking theme parks that are doing their money laundering with China.
I think
the Chinese don't care about that because they still consume a lot of our media. You'd be surprised how much they look up to.
Yeah, well, they own it. Fuck.
Yeah.
I would.
But they're still making gay shit. They don't like gay shit in China. Like, I mean,
they don't. They themselves don't like it, but they're gonna fund that shit in this country because they know how fucking destructive it is.
That I don't know, man. I don't think that the Chinese are going.
Phil is absolutely right there.
They're not. Maybe Black Lives Matter, maybe, but not the fucking queer movement. That's been going on for a long time.
I agree. Yeah, that's been going on for decades.
Who's to say that China hasn't been funding this for a long time?
They didn't have the power for that back then, like they do now.
Maybe not.
No, they objectively didn't.
No.
Look at Shanghai.
That's it for me.
And not only that, I
No, you can make it up. Oh, never mind, you're dead.
we're also
I love conspiracy theories. Don't get me wrong. You know,
for a long time,
That's a bit
Russia
rough.
was playing a big role in this too, but
game is basically
eventually
over.
the USSR fell, and something had to
USSR was
take place
they did not like gay shit either, and they know that you start polluting the well with one of these things, it's gonna
because. Why did they not like gay? Why did they not like gay shit? Because
they need more people. Because no one wants to live in the USSR, and if you have gay people, they ain't having kids.
No, because it's destructive. Because it's destructive. Because it's destructive to a society. So of course they're not going to use it on themselves, but they're damn sure going to fund it. They're damn sure going to fund it in their with their fucking most hated fucking rivals. Yeah, I'd fucking fund that shit too.
Yeah, that's
you think it. By the way, let me ask you something. Information warfare has been happening for fucking decades. You think it just went away? You think it just went away?
No, but they know it will spread to their country if they do this shit over here.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah,
valid point.
Because China and Russia have a much greater hold over their population than we do.
Voice.
It's the voice trying to game.
I was about to say my voice. Oh lord.
Oh lord.
No, I'm sorry.
No, but I think Alex does have a valid point, which is one thing, because I actually lean toward what you're saying, Phil, which is that they deploy things in America, destroy America, that they don't bring home. But the problem with that is, like, if you look at the Hong Kong protests and other things, Western ideas do come to the East, and that's why they censor the internet.
Well, Hong Kong just became China. Just became Chinese not too long ago.
Yeah.
They were under British rule for fucking over 100 years, and like of course the British the British are fucking terrible. Like they're worse than we are.
Yeah, they're gay now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're like worse in the whole, Hanny Fanny department than we are. Like, I mean, we're bad, but they're worse.
I don't think they would. I don't think that's the Chinese. I think that's a progressive left. I mean, there's stuff that the Chinese would do, but this is.
I'm saying it might come from the origin country, but it's sure as shit. It's sure as shit gotten funding from fucking China, and it's sure as shit got funding
fucking
USSR
laser.
and fucking and now Iran and Venezuela and all that shit.
I'm going full on.
This is a great. Like, I mean, I no evidence of that. I doubt.
No, of course there's not going to be evidence of that shit.
Well,
You
no,
think they're
there's
just going to show that? You think they're just going to show their hand like that?
Die,
Like what the
motherfucker.
fuck?
no. That's a stretch. You have to be able to prove a theory wrong for it to be a fucking theory. Like, I doubt it. I highly doubt that the Soviet Union was funding the gay lobby.
It's not. It wasn't really. What are you talking about? Like a gay lobby? There's no gay lobby,
No,
but it's
there
like
is. No, there
They're
is.
big gay. They're not. They never did that. China, I doubt, is doing that. That is homegrown. As
Homegrown terrorism.
bring up. Am I in the voice chat here?
I turned it off because I.
it had to get funding somewhere. It had to get funding somewhere. What you think they were just? China's funding George Soros' shit too.
I don't know.
I don't think he needs funding. He's rich.
No, he's a money launderer.
Maybe he's funding them. Who knows?
His Open Society, his Open Society Foundation is a fucking big money laundering scheme.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I get that. Like, I think George Soros is doing shit, but I don't think he is funding. Like him, the Chinese are necessarily one and the same. China wants what's best for China. George Soros.
Yeah. A lot of what's best for China is not what's best for the fucking United States.
Right.
Audio.
You can turn the voice chat up, by the way, for the game, Alex, in the settings. If you turn the voice channel to off, it'll turn it off. But, I mean, I'm not saying that China's not funding the gay lobby, but I don't think they're the biggest influence. I think this is.
I think they're China today in 2021 is far and away the biggest influence in the entertainment industry. Far and away.
So, but I think that they'd be influencing the racial division more than the gay shit, because they don't have to worry about black people in China because there's none. There's like maybe 2.
That's a good point. I actually do think they'd fund that more, and I think there is evidence of them doing that.
But they wouldn't fund the gay stuff because, hey, anyone can be gay. You can be Chinese, you can be black, you can be white, you can be Native American, you can be Aboriginal, Australian, you can be gay as anybody. It's I think they're. I don't think China's funding that.
Well, and let's keep in mind too the gay thing, and this is what adds to a weirder thing with Pride Month. Gays are like what 1% of the population, 2, 3, at most.
Well, half of these girls are fucking bisexual now.
Oh no, that's a whole can of worms.
Yeah, that's something. Like at least they're like top bisexual, but they, I don't even will actually eat a pussy. It's different.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
a
of course,
whole nother
like,
can of worms. But what I'm saying is, why are we making this whole month dedicated to this very small population? And like the trans thing too, it's even smaller than the gay population. Why is this though? It's like the biggest social issue for the left. Why? Like, it doesn't... And it's because I haven't studied this stuff well enough, but it just doesn't make sense. What is the end goal? What's the point of all this? I mean, I have some books. I really bought a book on transgender shit that I'm going to read to try and figure it out. It just makes no sense. I don't get it.
I think it's a way to go and say fuck you.
It's funded by not U.S. powers that are looking to destroy.
Funded by them. I think that's
them.
I don't think they.
Echo?
You know what? Maybe they are. Maybe that's really who this is coming from. Because yes, of all the Middle East, the one country that is allowing this shit.
Well, see, that's the other thing too. Is like, yeah, the China lobby. I think it's the biggest influence, but Israel lobby is probably number 2.
I don't think that they're that pro. Like, I mean, they're tolerant by Middle Eastern standards, but I don't think they're going to be like. I think this is a U.S.
Communist countries have always dumped their shit on. Communist countries have always dumped their shit on the United States. Always dumped their garbage on the United States. That began in the 80s with fucking Cuba dumping their shit into Miami.
Literally.
Yeah.
I think that's the case because like the countries that don't have any of that, like that, are very anti-gay. They're all fucking either ex-communists or.
Cuba did. The Castro did that shit, man. He
I
shipped
know,
up-
but
if you were gay, they threw you in jail, and then they eventually shipped you off on a doorknob floating door to Miami.
They just use as a toilet flush. He flushed the toilet of the Cuban refugees and shit.
Yeah,
Maybe that's what started. That was like he sent all those gay people here.
yeah,
Oh my
that's
God,
part of
it's
it.
water.
That's part of it. Yeah.
And then it turned the freaking frogs gay.
Oh, that's how
Now a large part. Okay, so a slice of it is the drug thing. Because like, look, if you
drugs
if you're-
make you gay now. Well, I do.
no, I'm saying it like the drug thing, like especially like with the disco in the 70s, you had a lot of fucking what the fuck was it? You had a lot of LSD that fucking that turned people like it really did turned people gay because it was like I want to hump something and I don't care what it is. And if it was a dude, whatever.
Yeah,
Holds
you
are
know
holds.
who's behind the LSD? CIA, baby.
Yeah.
So U.S. I don't know, man. I know people who have done LSD now, and they are not gay.
Not everybody that takes it turns to be gay, but yeah, if you took LSD in the 70s, and you were in a disco club, odds are you're probably fucking another dude,
That's
or
very
you're at least
stressful, man.
or you're at least experimenting on it.
I think the homosexuality in pretty
Or
much most of
ecstasy.
them comes
Or
from
ecstasy, too.
environmental factors.
That
From
was
when
like
they
the-
grew up.
I think it's caused by the pussy.
Well, that's a slice of it, but that's a slice of it. Like that's some of it's physiological, some of it's psychological, some of it's
Well, I think it's
drug
a mixture
induced,
of nature and
some of
nurture,
it-
but I think if I think it happens
whole
at a
wide
young
pie.
age, and you can't get rid of it. Like you can probably suppress it, but you can't get rid of it. I think certain things will bring it out. But
Used at a younger age.
what was that?
I think more kids are getting sexually active at a younger age, and you got a lot
I
of
That
don't
too,
think that has
that
to
too.
do with it.
That too. Hey, you experiment a little bit. Hey, well,
Oh, you
Maybe.
mean, yeah, I could see that, maybe. But
I
I
don't
still
know.
think at the end of the day, it's like, you're gonna have that eventually in life, but the predispositions that are in your makeup of your body,
I
how
think it's
you're
how-
wired, happens at a young age.
I
That's
think it's
when you're
how.
most impressionable, so it's probably
Yeah.
some sort of environmental factor.
Yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, I mean, I knew-
Alex and then Sam.
In Hollywood, I don't think it's any. Like, I think that's probably what's doing it's Hollywood. I don't think it's China. I think it's California.
That's fair. What were you saying, Sam?
I mean, all I will say is, from a very young age, like I knew I loved women, from a
Yeah.
from a very like,
You were a horny bastard, even out of the womb.
pretty much. I mean,
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of people I think who make up these stupid fucking especially the transgender thing more than anything else.
See, that's an interesting one to me. I basically think they're confused gays, but why are they going this path?
that's that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Gavin says. Is they're basically just confused gays.
Yeah, they are. And I think for a lot of people, I mean, any point in their life, but usually when you're young, you go through a lot of different phases, and tendencies within you can be brought out. And that's why you'll see some people do some weird stuff when they're younger, even in college, they'll never do again. Even in prison, people do things that they normally wouldn't do, but given their environment, they do those things.
They need pussy. When they don't have pussy, it's the next best thing to rear end. I mean, who doesn't like fucking someone up the ass?
Yeah.
I'm saying if somebody has those
I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna.
Let me know when you're back.
That's I'll spawn in the match, but just keep going, keep talking, keep shooting.
Yeah, I'm saying if somebody already has those those thoughts.
Yeah.
And they have those natural like you have a natural declination to do it, whether it's like you know fear of what your family might think, fear of whatever, and then you take drugs and that fucking if you take ecstasy, you're like, well, fuck, whatever, we'll try it now.
You know what they say, man, a hole's a hole.
Yeah, exactly. It becomes, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it, and then all of a sudden you pop a pill and start rolling, and then it's like, oh yeah, holes are holes, let's go.
Well, I think, but then you can look at the modern gay culture. It's different than like the Roman gay culture, the Greek gay culture, where they were very masculine, but like over here, this effeminate man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's culturally done. I don't think it's the Chinese. I think because it's made in America.
No, it was. No, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing whether it was made in America. I think it absolutely was. I'm just saying that the Chinese probably funded and by its funding grew it exponentially.
I don't know about that. I think that was a natural, like that was a chain of reactions. I think we've just had it so good for so long, and you can go look at like 1920s Germany. I think it's just a natural cycle. Like once things start to get really easy, it's like, oh yeah, I got all this money. Like, why bother having kids? Let's just have sex, because now we have I don't have to worry about getting pregnant. And then what else doesn't get pregnant? Like a dude's asshole.
I mean, I'm sure that's part of it too.
I think the 60s, the birth control pill, the Depo shot, that stuff, the sexual liberation movement brought about the homosexual movement. And I think that's, I don't think you need any funding. I think it's just a exponential thing because, like, people, and I think the government too, because, like, we're very disincentivized from having kids as it is. Like, dude, why would you want to do that? Like, I mean, you don't, like, it costs you a shit ton of money. You get you lose money with it, and you have Social Security anyway. So it's like you don't have to go and worry about your kids for for when you're an old person. So it's like, why?
Well, I'm like I don't want kids because I don't want to get a crazy bitch pregnant and then I'm stuck with that shit for 18 years.
Well, but like once you start getting into that, then you get people who are just like, oh, I'm gonna have sex for a while, and it's like, well, it's a lot easier to go and fuck a dude than fuck a girl.
Yeah.
Because fucking is.
Probably.
I mean, I imagine, like, the average, like, amount of sex partners, like, a gay man has in his life is, like, 1,000. The average sex partners, like, a straight man has in his life is, like, 10. I mean, you can get some more or less, but, like, gay dudes is like, dudes, man. It's like, be fucking all the time, fucking different people. Who cares? It's easy come, easy go.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot that I think about, and I don't know. It's let me see what else. I hate when I hate when I fucking think of something and then I just fucking forget it. It's just that's like the worst, especially during the fucking show, man. It just sucks.
Yeah, no, man.
Did you see that? Did you see that our fearless Attorney General, Merrick Garland, said he's going to condemn. I think he said he was going to condemn any audits of the last presidential election.
Oh, by the way, what's been going on with Arizona? I'm curious.
They're still doing it. They're still doing the audit. They say they're over halfway done with the audit. So there's that.
I'm wondering, do they find anything? Because, like, here's my thing. Like, even in the best case scenario, what's going to happen? Like, let's say, hypothetically, there was proof that there was enough election fraud that would have turned over the election. Like, what the fuck even happens then? Best case.
Probably nothing, but I think it would definitely fuel the reform for future elections, like fuel reform for that. Yeah.
And the more
He
likely
announced. Attorney General Merrick Garland announced that the Justice Department will scrutinize any post-election audits for evidence of voting. Well, that really doesn't that really doesn't matter.
Well, to be fair, I can see why, because the best case, it's unprecedented territory. I mean, and they probably, I'm not going to go and comment on chances, but let's say in the purely hypothetical sense that they discover this happened, purely hypothetically, if they ever discover that Trump would have won, like, constitutionally, there's no process for dealing with that post January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to deal with that constitutionally, which means, either Biden would voluntarily step down, which would not happen, or extra constitutional shit would go on.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
no. This whole thing is just to try to set up an eventual reform for Arizona. Like that's what I think. That's where I think this thing is headed.
Well, but here's the thing, though. If that happens in Arizona, I think you're going to start. The one domino will fall. Others will continue. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if they discover voter fraud in Arizona, you will find voter fraud in other states.
My thing, I feel like they're doing this to attack Dominion.
No, because I think
because the Maricopa County's Dominion. That's where they're doing I think that's where they're doing the audit. And I think that's Dominion voting systems. They're running off of Dominion voting systems. So if that turns up to be wonky, and then say another place turns out to be wonky, like say Philadelphia or whatever, one of these other cities, then it's like, well, then all these other states could very well crack down on Dominion voting systems, which would almost assuredly fix whatever wonky shit is going on, because the Dominion voting system is like very there's a lot of controversy involved with Dominion voting systems. So I feel like that's where they want to head. I don't know how successful they'll be on it, but we'll see. We'll see. Because you're right, they can't do shit. Like they're not going to be able to do shit about it. Like, oh, even if you decertify, like you can't. Like even if you decertify the 2020 results, it's like, well, it really doesn't matter because it's already over. Like everything else already happened. Like you can't just undo it. I think just the goal is just purely to change shit for 2022 and beyond. But even I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I think if they go that route, I think we would end up seeing things done. I think most likely what would happen is if he does not, like, if they were to discover that, it would have a domino effect.
Oh yeah, no, it would. If they found out that Maricopa County was wonky, it would definitely have a domino effect. Which I mean, yeah, I think definitely it would definitely. I just don't know. I don't know what they could do from a 2020 approach. Like I don't know what they could do about that, because
I think there's a lot they could do legally. I don't think there is, and I think
No.
there would be major conflict of that because
Yeah.
you would have people basically know that there was at that point, if this were to hypothetically happen, that there
Yeah.
would have been fraud committed, and that the person like who's the president is not supposed to be there,
Yeah.
and we would have events that would severely dwarf what happened on January 6th. I feel if that were to be discovered.
Well, I mean, then they'd have to go full authoritarian to fucking combat all that shit. And then
Well, yeah, because they would have basically admitted that, hey, this person, this was done fraudulently, but we're not gonna, you're gonna keep what you steal. Go with the Halo fucking analogy.
yeah.
A thief, but I keep what I steal. If that were to happen, I mean, it's all hypothetical. I mean,
Yeah.
like and that. On the one hand, like I think they should do the audits, but on the other hand, I can see why people would be hesitant because that's,
Yeah.
it's not good optics.
Nope. But I mean, no, but I think I think the goal for them is reform. I think they're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna ban, like, because if enough Dominion voting system places get wonky, they'll be like, no, we need to ban these fuckers altogether, and then that would really shake some shit up, like, for future elections. That would really shake some shit.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It'll all be in.
Hold on a sec.
Sam, are you still online? Sam leave?
Ouch. Fuck. Don't get old, man. This shit be lose.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
It
my
sucks. And getting old sucks.
I'm youngish, but my fucking bones feel like they're in their fucking 60s. My bones and my joints.
Imagine what it's gonna feel like in your 60s, man.
No, if I'm even alive by my 60s, man, all the fucked up shit I've done, shit. If I'm still alive into my 60s, I will be stunned. I'll surprise even myself. Like each day in my 60s, each birthday that I celebrate in my 60s, I would celebrate like you've never seen. Like holy shit, I actually fucking made it this long. Holy God. All the mistakes I've made and the drugs I've taken and the fucking holy shit. Man. But yeah, so about so with the Merrick Garland thing, so as soon as he said that, the Arizona Attorney General was like, something along the lines of, let me remind the AG that anyone who interferes with our election audit process will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, which could be interesting. That would be kind of interesting because I mean, I would imagine, like, would anything happen? I don't fucking know, but that certainly would be interesting. Like if if the Arizona AD were to arrest the fucking the US AD, that'd be funny. Kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's crazy, man. Ugh. No, man, that fucking shot, man. It's
Yeah,
fucked up.
it fucked me up when I took it.
Man, it's a fucking. I don't like that shot, man.
Mm.
Yeah, they kept talking about these coronavirus passports, man. I just want to get my fucking passport redone. It's due in September, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not traveling anywhere, but it's a hell of a great one-stop shop for whenever I need to apply. Whenever I need to get improve my identity, it's just show the fucking passport.
Mm-hmm.
And papers, please. Here you go, buddies. Here's my fucking passport. I don't want to go and show you like fucking birth certificate or any shit like that. I'll show you this. I mean, it'd be nice if they just make that shit like, yeah, I don't have to go and fucking find it all the time. Pain in the ass.
Mm. Yeah, but I don't know. I just it's hard for me to look at anything new that's created and not think that it's going to be completely fucking crooked.
Why did you go on your Sean? Why did you go on
Hmm.
your... No, you don't. You leave your brother alone.
Oh. ¿Por qué? ¿Dónde estás? I don't know.
I'm gonna take a piss.
All right. Enjoy your piss. So yeah, that Hunter Biden thing is a mess with the whole N-word thing. I always have to ask myself, okay, if it's cool for him to say it now, does everybody else get a pass? That's kind of what I want to know, right? So it's like, because you know now, if some white dude says the N-word, they're gonna be like, well, Hunter Biden gets a pass. What the hell? And I think that's you'll eventually see that on Twitter. Mark my words.
What's going on?
Yeah, I was saying, with Hunter saying the N-word, right?
Mhm.
So it's interesting because now I guarantee that the next time some white dude fucking drops an M-bomb, they're probably gonna say, well, Hunter fucking said it. So what's the deal? Like, yeah, I should. But Hunter said it, and he's getting a pass. Like, what the hell? Why can't I get a? Where's my pass?
Well, you're not the president's son, so.
Well, no, I'm saying, of course, because the Bidens are corrupt. But I'm saying that whoever says it is probably going to use it. I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm saying they're going to use it.
What did they say? I was grabbing a beer.
I'm saying that with the whole Hunter N-word thing is the thing that's going to be interesting is like the next white dude that ends up dropping N-bombs, or that the white dude that comes out with a video that has a bunch of N-bombs dropped. Well, odds are they'll probably mention Hunter Biden and go, hey, where's my free pass?
Yeah, and they'd be absolutely right to.
I'm not saying that they wouldn't be. I'm just saying, well, I mean, they're all wrong, but I mean, like, but I'm saying, like, look, yeah, I think it'd be interesting to hear him say it, and probably funny too, but
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. If someone does, that's the excuse they should use. Totally.
yeah. By the way, that same sociology class that I was in, like, they're a bunch of the group that I had. They were a bunch of fucking hypocrites. Because I was like, because they were talking about like how racist jokes were wrong or whatever, and I was
Oh
like,
my god, yeah.
I was like, yeah, of course racist jokes are wrong, but I bet But I bet all you non-white
That-
people would fucking laugh your ass off if I said a racist joke about a white person, right?
Racist. Well, that's why they're funny, is because
And the funny part is, they were like, no, absolutely not, because wrong is wrong. And then I and then I say, well, what's white in 7 inches? Or I said, what's white in over 7 inches? And they're like, what? And I go, nothing. And they all start fucking laughing, right? That was a penis joke, but anyway. What's white in 7 inches? Saying white people have small dicks. Anyway. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, so they laughed at it. They all laughed at it like almost immediately. And then I was like, how does every racist joke start? And they were like, what? And then I look both ways, and then I go, and then they fucking start laughing, right? Because you're like racist jokes, you're looking for anybody of minority before you say the racist joke. Anyway. So they're laughing. I'm like, see, y'all a bunch of fucking hypocrites, right?
I'm back.
Yeah, no. Jeff,
there we go.
I remember Jeff actually had the actually like DM'd me that day when they were doing the racist joke thing, and he tried that line on me too, and I'm like, yeah, of course racist jokes are wrong. That's why they're fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
What line did he try on you? Sorry, I was out. Just got back.
We're doing Halo 2 now. Get this shit going.
What was that?
Doing Halo 2 now. Let's get this shit going.
Oh, let's go. What was that line that Jeff tried on you, Sam?
Oh, so Phil and I were talking out in his sociology class. There was like a lame thing like how racist jokes aren't funny and they're just like wrong. And I was telling him that like that Jeff, the Jeff we know, tried using that same line on me, and I'm like, yeah, of course racist jokes are wrong. That's why they're funny.
What was his response to that?
He's like, well, you shouldn't make them. It's not right. And I'm like,
no, it's not fucking sin to make a fucking joke.
No, it's like, yeah.
It's people that hate church so much are using all the same church bullshit about like, oh, it's a sin to do this.
Yeah, we were talking. When you were in your group, Sean, did you ever have have anything about racist jokes?
Yeah, this looks
like
fun.
how bad racist jokes were?
Actually, no. I was only told, and I want to actually tell Owen this, that I couldn't use the term slum.
I was told so in our little group, right? They were saying how bad racist jokes were, and I immediately I thought I told you this before. Anyway, okay. So anyway, I said y'all a bunch of fucking hypocrites, because guaranteed I could say a fucking racist white joke and all you motherfuckers would be laughing, right? And he's just like, no, that's not true. Oh yeah, all right, here we go. I was like, I'm like, why shouldn't white people go swimming? And they were like, why? I was like, because crackers get soggy when they're wet. And everybody's cracking up laughing because it's fucking hilarious, right? Nice. But like, yeah, but I was like, see, y'all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. And they're like, oh, well, no, that's not. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I got another one. Here, what's white and over 7 inches? And they're like, what? I was like, nothing, right? And again, people started laughing, right? So, I was like, see, y'all a bunch of hypocrites. And
well, actually, the guy with the biggest stick's a white dude in New York.
Actually, John Holmes had a huge penis and he was white. Like, what the fuck?
Actually, guys from Norway have the largest sticks according to surveys. Totally.
Give me a source in that point, Dexter.
I saw that somewhere. There's some dude from Mexico who like literally who's like trying to get claim to think for the biggest stick, but apparently he just like he stretched his foreskin so long. It's like he can't even get the penis anymore. But like he's trying to go and falsely claim the biggest dick world record.
That's funny.
Dude, like it's not fun. Like he's get like recircumcised because his like fucking cock is all foreskin.
All foreskin, no head.
That's the other thing. Like, you know, that's interesting. People that say that the world's biased towards men. Why are men still getting circumcised if it's a man's world?
Have you have any of you guys? I played this on my show. I actually played this on my show tonight. Have any of you guys seen the clip of Sean Connery being
Chad.
interviewed by Barbara Walters?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's taken out of context because apparently it was a joke.
Oh no!
Slapping women.
No. Here's the thing. He said that in a Playboy interview, like back in the 80s, and then
King.
Barbara Walters asked him about that, and he just goes, yeah, I said that, and she's like, well, what do you think? He's like, I haven't changed my opinion on it.
King.
So,
Bad
and
answer.
I'll say. Let me send you the clip real quick, Sean. I don't know if you can play it on stream.
I probably can't because I don't know how. I don't remember how I have the audio out set up.
I got some good fucking kills that rocket launcher.
Let's see. Are we on red team? That's one thing I like though is I can't really tell which team I'm on half the time.
You're the one that when you aim at them, it pops up around your reticle. You're on red team, yes. It'll tell you when you hit tab.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't show you like separate easily. I think. Let me see. Oh wait, no. If I see it puts a little border around me. That's a different.
It's a border.
Yeah, nice strong borders. Now where are you? Oh, I just got killed. I was trying to. You're ahead of me. 3 kills ahead of me.
It's so weird seeing Halo 2 in like the fucking new version.
I like
beautiful.
the new versions because
It's beautiful, like, compared to the original one. Like I played it like a long time ago. I was like, holy shit! Like after I was into all, like, holy shit, this thing's fucking broken. But they actually fixed a lot of it.
Well, you know what they did too is when you're in the campaign, you hit tab and you can switch between the old graphics and the new. And I keep it on the new, but I'll switch to the old just to see how some stuff looks. And it's they totally did like a complete, like not a remaster, but almost a remaking, where they took the structure and just added all the textures that they intended to have.
Yeah, like Halo 1 definitely some of the flow. Bad.
They basically took it to like MMO quality. They took it from old school to like MMO tier quality.
Well, what the fuck does MMO tier quality mean? Fucking RuneScape's an MMO.
Okay, RuneScape is very special, but like
Being
something
MMO.
like WoW or like SWTOR or
know
Lord
what
of
it
the Rings Online.
I played the Master or the one. Like that was actually the only one I ever beat. I never beat Halo 1 until I actually played the remake of it.
Well, you
because
know how it's those kind of graphics that are
I've seen it
they're
before.
not like super detailed textured or cinematic, but they're good enough that a lot of things can run it, like you said.
Yeah, I've played the I played the remake of Halo 1, the remaster. I've played that one. I've not played I've not played the campaign for Halo. So I played. Oh fuck! I forgot he was hitting me.
Well, anyway, we went on a Halo tangent there, but yeah. Well, with the World and Conversations though with Sam, like those actually pissed me off because they could have been so much better, but you had like, you know, one of the instructors toned language policing me for saying slum, and there was nothing wrong with it, and I argued about it with her, which was fun. And the other one we talked about hair, which was boring, and nobody liked it. I was like, oh, why do you do what you do with your hair? Do other cultures do different things? Oh, why do you do this? It was like, okay, this is boring. We're in circles. Who cares?
Just retarded. Like, oh, it's a slum. That's racist. Like,
Yeah,
dude,
you know what
fuck.
she said? She says we don't use that term. I was like, why? She just went, and this is the worst. I hate this response. We just don't. We just
You should
don't.
talk to Sam about that when you have your one-on-ones with him talking. It's like cock up, black guys' asses or vice versa. Like, I want to talk to this guy.
Let me find, because I probably told you guys in the chat. I mentioned it somewhere, and I don't remember everything she said about it, or why I couldn't use it. I think there was a racial connotation. Oh, here it is. Oh my god, just had this one conversation. If Sarah got triggered when I used the word slum, she told me that to say
Ooh.
that, not say that word because there's a better word.
What
Yeah,
the fuck's
ghetto.
a better word? Fucking
Ghetto.
ghetto. It's a shithole. There's a bunch of other words, but I think slums.
I just said shithole. Okay, so there are these shitholes in America, and
Oh, who hit me? The cushion killed me.
the cushion. Dude, what's like triple? Do you know this gun that like shoots like triple rounds or whatever?
Which one, the battle rifle or whatever? The one they spawn one? That's not.
It's ass, dude. Like I can't shoot anything. Nobody
Dude.
dies.
You have to hit them in the head, and then they'll like do a shit ton of damage.
That's what I noticed. It's only with headshots it actually does anything.
It's good. You have to get that precision shit.
Okay.
You find the good weapons. It's an old, like, almost arena style shooter. Ooh, suppressed SMG. What's this shit?
Yeah, suppress me.
No, it's not the original one. The original one, oh, can I dual wield? Oh, yes, I can. Let's go, Bubba B, Bubba Boo. Let's go dual wielding.
Not being able to sprint is weird to me still. What are your thoughts on that? 'Cause people hate the new one you can sprint in.
Halo, it's a Call of Duty innovation. I mean,
Is that a bad thing though?
yes, it's not Halo.
Not really.
Hashtag not my Halo.
Yes.
I miss the dual wield, like the newer ones don't have that. Because it was like, it was a gimmicky thing. Let's be real. But it was fun. I still think Halo 3 had the most balanced. It had the most balanced multiplayer.
It's not
Me-
Halo 2, you said.
Halo 3, this is Halo 2. This is their Halo 2, whatever they want to call it, their enhanced or whatever, which isn't quite the original. I have to do it. Next one we're going to do, I'll show you the original. It was... Halo 3 is probably the most well-balanced out of them all, because you could do dual wielding, you can go and use your special ship, but they didn't have the classes like the Breach does. But it's different. It takes a little bit... Oh, fuck, this guy's got the sword. Yeah, man. Red pill these players.
Yes.
How was that, Mr. Sam? Like, I don't know. Like, I had to go and take a sociology class in my professor, just some like feminists, and she had these conspiracy theories, but it was nothing like the performance that you like guys talk about with Sam's class.
Oh,
I guess
you're
the
the one that was thought like Bush was behind some shit, right?
Yeah, she was like a left-wing conspiracy theorist, basically.
Left wing Alex Jones.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Did you have any other interesting experiences with Jeff's Sam W that are worth bringing up?
Is he still in the chat?
Let me check. Did we lose everyone? No, he's still
I'm here.
I'm here.
Alright, do we have anybody in our actual chat? No, we don't.
Mm-mm.
No, probably come. Maybe it's all not. Oh well, some hills.
But did you have any other like Jeff stories, Sam, like the one you were just describing?
I mean, I know Phil won't believe me, but like I said, Jeff used to be a conservative, and then Sam...
Let's break that down. How was he conservative?
I mean, he believed in... He he actually used to be like super religious, right? Christian.
Really?
Uh,
Religious? Hardcore, like, Christian?
He was probably
yeah.
he homeschooled.
No, he went to a public high school, so.
So, that kind of reminds me of that one girl that went to the debate club with us.
Who is that?
Sean, you remember her?
Oh, the
Maybe.
one that said she was conservative but really wasn't.
Yeah, like she was
The
a very
fat
weak,
bitch.
yeah,
Yeah.
very weak conservative.
Oh, she was in my propaganda class, and she was like full-on leftist, anti-Trump, and I was vocally like pro-Trump. And I remember I wasn't vocally pro-Trump, but I was vocally like Republican, I guess you could say, and knew what was going on, but I wasn't like some like far-right guy or anything, but people probably suspect I was right-wing. But I remember my professor like ate into my one paper because we had to like pick a speech. It was like Trump or Hillary, and I picked Trump, of course. She's like, "Well, I know you're a Trump supporter, but you should have brought up more criticisms." I'm like, "No, it was a beautiful speech. It was epic." And I did offer some. I gave her some bones at the end, but it was like, what do you want me to do? I'm gonna pray to your belief.
Well, that's how it goes in college. You have to sort of pay the piper, unfortunately. Like, if you're conservative in college, you know.
When was Jeff's breaking point, Sam? Was it with that turning point fallout?
Partially, but like he had been. Okay, so the whole emphasis of him turning liberal. There's no other way to say this, but it was essentially when. And this is what drives me fucking crazy. Is he basically like he like even when he was conservative, he kind of, at least I always saw, he kind of had some gay tendencies, right? And then when he came out to us, like, I guess he just kind of decided that, like, because he was gay, he also needed to be a liberal, which drives me insane because, I mean, hello, Milo, you know,
Yeah.
like, well, not in it, well, let me
Not
rephrase.
anymore.
Milo past tense,
Well,
but,
I don't know. Okay.
but you
Yeah,
know,
he's serious about it. Like, I know you're not gonna maybe believe me, but he is serious about it.
Yeah, he throws his wedding ring into like the fucking movie. He's so gay. Like, I don't care if he is.
Well, no, he's even admitted at this age, he's having a really hard time of like purging all his gay tendencies, and I think he knows that he's always gonna have those feelings, but he's trying to live a life where he doesn't act upon those tendencies.
so I mean, he's basically just Guy Benson.
I don't know. I don't trust it. I like Milo, but
I think he's just, and he said this, and I think it's honestly what he's doing is he's saying to himself, well, I'm this super hardcore Christian preaching traditional values, and I'm doing a homosexual lifestyle when I can choose not to. Yes, I'll have the tendencies, I'll have the feelings, I'll want to suck a dick, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put the dick down. I think that's what he's doing, practicing what he preaches. Dude, these graphics, man.
it's just like I remember him.
Nostalgia. Intensive. Dude, this guy ain't that nice, dude.
I don't know, man. I'll see him. Oh man, he got me with that battle rifle. Unpatched glory. For all the balancing patches. Oh damn, this one was pretty unbalanced. This was like the first game with like Xbox Live.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't. Like, this was the first Halo with Xbox Live. Because before then, Halo 1 was couch co-op LAN parties.
Those were the days.
I mean, those games were I'm sorry, but those games are still fun too. You know, just like sitting around in your living room with a bunch of buds, like on a Friday.
How's he still alive?
Honestly, co-op is honestly more fun than multiplayer in many ways.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
I do like the co-op. Like you have the friend over here, and like man, me and my friend Dylan, we were playing like all the fucking like we did the campaign on Halo 2. Like it was the first one I think I beat their camp. Yeah, I did beat this. I know I beat this one. I remember like bullshit with that. Man, this one's campaign, the Halo 2 campaign on Legendary. I think I tried that once.
Oh, dude, that's gotta be insane.
Halo 1, like all the other ones weren't bad, but like Halo 2, like holy shit.
Halo 1 is actually difficult, even on easy, or sorry, normal. Because I googled it, especially after Deus Ex. I learned to be a bit more careful. So I checked it out, and people were like, yeah, you should stick to easy or normal. I picked normal.
Now Halo
And then
2
it was like hard, very hard, and then I think Legendary, I don't remember, but apparently, like, it's the hardest one on Legendary.
Halo 2.
Yeah, well,
You'll
Ma-
get one shot sniped all the time.
Max Payne is like the same way. Like even if you set Max Payne on like easy, it's one of those games that progressively like gets harder, and like you will die, and then like the artificial intelligence will like make it easier again. If that makes sense.
I keep dying in this map, Alex, just randomly.
They sniping me. This motherfucker's sniping me. It's not randomly, he's getting me. Oh god, he's got the Banshee.
The Banshee's a flying thing, right?
Yeah. This is the first one we could hijack people's vehicles. That was pretty. Oh, this guy keeps sniping me. This little douchebag. Not the gun girl, them. Good old fashioned 1-2 in and out, you know?
Oh, yeah. The tranny's gonna come down to the purge. We should make that movie, The Tranny Purge, where it's like these trains go around purging straight men.
They just go and rape them.
They just do one stick up the ass and then boom.
Louis C.K. actually has a joke about that.
Oh really? I didn't even know that. For anybody that accused me of stealing it, I did not know that.
No. I'm not saying you did. I'm not saying.
I know, but
But
people
no.
in the comments or people 5 years down the road.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at what he said.
Well, heck, like, it's funny that like, to me it's kind of amusing that like everyone got like so upset about like Louis C.K. like, you know, jerking off in front of women, because like that was his whole shtick. That's basically like his whole shtick is that like jerking off, or like, you know, or like gay dudes wanting to rape straight guys, you know, or stuff like that, like, you know.
Are you in the Warthog, Alex?
Yeah, I'm in the Warthog.
I'm in it too.
Come on, what's this motherfucker still alive?
Is Phil still here, or did he fall asleep or something?
No, I'm here.
He's still asleep. He's not that old. He's not Biden age yet.
Don't be ageist.
You hurt my feelings, man. I'll let you know.
That's the most like genuine thing you've ever said.
I don't have no fucking feelings. God damn it.
Oh fuck, he's got rocket. Oh.
Toughen up, soldier.
Are you on the gun in the back?
Yeah.
He's just shooting.
Yeah, because there's no penalty for you to just hold the shoot button.
Oh, there's no reload, there's no cooldown.
I just hold that shit.
Yeah, you're
Oh.
right, this shit is unbalanced. Oh,
I mean,
have to
even
reload.
that. I gotta be real.
What was that?
Even Halo 3, you could still just hold the fucking shoot button.
No, I didn't know.
I see.
Right, I can't shoot anyone because it's always not where I'm at.
Oh god, he's got a fuck. Let's get him.
Yeah, we need to up the graphics to the new shit. This is like archaic.
It is. It's Xbox original. The same one the original was made for.
Anyway, are you guys gonna wrap this this up soon. I've got something I want to talk to you about.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure. I was laughing because Alex flew off the fucking gun.
Dude, that was a good kill streak. I can't. Oh fuck.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about, Sam?
Are we still alive?
Oh yeah, we're live.
So no,
Unless you
we're
want to talk
gonna-
about something off air, Sam.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have off-air stuff.
Okay, well I think we should cut anyway. It's been long
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
I mean, we can talk on air, but I don't think it would be a good idea. So.
Yeah, sounds like the right call. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. We had a lovely stream. We had some diverse viewpoints on some diverse topics of some diverse sexualities, so that was fun.
I mean, I am your token cripple, so you're welcome.
It's the only reason we bring you on.
Get the fucking Sam guy on here. The other Sam.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
The
we need to
other
get the other Sam on and playing Halo with him.
Black dudes. I want to talk to him.
You want to talk about the gay sex with black dudes fetish he has?
It's like fetishizing his wife's gonna die so he can take that BBC.
Well, they're good television networks, so no blame. But did I kill? Oh, I did get a kill finally. But anyway, subscribe to our channel. Click the sub button below. Like and share the video. Help us out. Help spread more information. Is information warfare. That's truth. That's honest, free speech conversations. And follow Sam at Sam Whitfield on YouTube and at Sam_NWGC on Twitter. I think I hit everything. Just always gotta check. Oh, follow at Dictator Phil. Can't forget that. If you want to see somebody that gets banned in 60 seconds on Twitter and then reappears with Dictator Phil 5961. Fucking snipers.
It's not like Facebook that just banned my ass for 6 months until the election's over.
Yeah, they put you in Facebook jail.
Dude, they knew I was a mouthpiece for the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Or me that gets banned from Discord for, just being part of a certain Canadian's Discord.
Oh, speaking of Discord, everybody go to Epic Games. We're not showing for them officially. We're not paid to show for them, but we're going to show for the free Nitro that they're giving out for 3 months, so you can boost some servers like ours, which is linked in the description. So if everybody could do that to your friends' Discord, especially ours, that'd be awesome. It's gonna get more perks.
Oh yeah,
Did you see that, Sam, that deal?
I did.
Do it.
Hit that shit up. Hit it up. But we'll see you guys next week for another stream. So have a nice week and enjoy yourselves.
Peace, guys.